L suits, Ron.
Facts, L suits. I mean, dub suits, but L suits. But Doug Wemby, the rookie of the year, defensive player of the year, most improved player of the year,
Arguably defensive player of the year.
first team All NBA, MVP. I don't know. These are things that D'Angelo Russell said, and some of you may agree. Do you guys agree?
With some of it, not all of it, but it was hyperbolic just to talk about how great Wemby already is. But I understand the most improved player can't go to someone in year one. But if you ask me who improved the most over the course of the season, I think it was Wemby. So I can understand saying, hey, most improved player. And I think he's one of the 20 best players based on just last season. So I stand with D'Lo. Like, I get what he's saying. Some of it's over exaggeration, but Wemby like that. So I mean,
now when you say Mars, when you say most improved over the course of the season, most improved compared to what?
Because that's what.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because I mean, at the start, I just got the job. I mean, we really don't have anything to compare to. Because this year could very well have been a fluke, which I don't think it is, but it could very well be a fluke. And then next year, we'll see if we're going to see. Are we going to see the same Wemby from these Olympics? I don't think we're going to see the same Wemby. I think we're going to see a different Wemby. He looks better defensively. I ain't gonna argue that. But the idea of him being the defensive player of the year, I think him and Evan Mobley are going to be the class. Him, Evan Mobley, and Bam. I think those three guys are going to be the class of what the defensive player of the year is. I won't argue that. But
respect.
I don't want to put. I just don't want to put. I don't think Chet is in the same class as a defender as Wemby. I don't think he ever will be.
I'm talking about the other two.
And I don't think he ever will be with Mobley neither. I don't.
And the other one?
I don't.
Bam?
Yeah.
I mean, Bam better than Mobley, so I mean,
I don't think Bam is. I think Bam is better than Mobley because of how long he's been around. I think Mobley this season, the 24-25 season, I think he gets back to what he was 2 years ago when he was the runner-up of Defensive Player of the Year. I think we're going to have that conversation. I know that there's plenty of people who will pick Wemby as the Defensive Player of the Year. I'm a Mobley guy. I think overall as a defender, I think everything that all of these guys know how to do, I think Mobley's just as good. I think the separation with Mobley, I think it's going to be on the perimeter more than any place. I think Mobley will separate himself. Barring health issues, I think he'll separate himself. But I don't want to overrate Wemby. I know how you feel about him, Mars, and I understand that Wemby is that big of a deal. I won't argue that, but I don't want to overrate him and make him more than what he is right now. We're going into year 2. What kind of jump are we looking at from Mobley in year? Wemby in year 2 from year 1? Are we looking at a top 20 player to potentially a top 5 player? Are we looking at that kind of player? Because if we're looking at that kind of player, then we're looking at a generational talent.
That's what we're looking at, Chill. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, he is generational.
It's not going to take much.
Man,
it's not going to take much, Chill.
But I'm saying, though, Ox, to go from, let's say, from 18 to 6 in a year.
And I know how you feel about that. I know how you feel about that, like jumping guys. But Wemby the type of player where it just takes little things for him to just go crazy. Like this year, his improvement over the season was just comfortability. It was just comfortability in learning the NBA style, and his teammates getting more comfortable with him. Yeah. And sometimes your teammates don't even know your capabilities. You know what I mean? So once his teammates was playing with him more and more, practicing more and more, they're like, damn, dude could do this. Like, okay. Yeah. So they're starting to do that. He's getting more comfortable. Now, over the summer, playing in the Olympics, working out more, getting stronger, he's actually going to improve things.
Sure.
Putting on from here to year 3, maybe putting on 15 to 20 pounds.
Which I mean? Maybe stay right there, Ox. Stay right there. About that. What's the ideal weight you think for Wemby? Because I don't think Wemby's a bulk kind of guy. What do you think an ideal weight is for him?
I don't know how much he weighs right now, but whatever it is, I think he can put on another 20, and that could just be all shoulders, thighs. You know what I'm saying? His hindquarters. You know what I mean? Getting a little stronger. Maybe not necessarily thicker and bulkier, but definitely as you get older, you know, you're able to hold on to weight more. And so that right there, just the weight is gonna make him even better on the block. You know what I mean? Yep. And so when that happens, it's like, yeah, he's top 5 now. And you know what I mean? He might not get much better from there on. He might, after about year 4, he might stay where he's at. But that's already top 5.
Is there a world when Wemby's the best player in the league?
If there's not, I'll be astounded. If he's not, I'll be
sure.
Chill.
In 4 years, I assume Jokic slows down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Luka might be the only one that's I don't want to underrate any of the other young guys. I don't want to disrespect nobody,
Luka,
but
Jayson,
I think you got to do.
And those are like
he's gonna pass those guys. He's gonna pass. Yeah, and I don't know how much better Ant's gonna get. You know what I'm saying? I think Ant's only gonna get better at decision making. You know what I mean? Decision making, getting smarter, and being a leader, stuff like that. I think that's where Ant's gonna improve. So Luka can improve if he starts playing defense. And you know what I'm saying? Wemby is gonna be the best player in the league. He's going to.
So he came into the league at 209, by the way. So before his rookie year, he was 209.
To me, the only question is it's only Luka and potentially some of these younger guys where you got Cooper Flag if he's able to just come in the league and be what he's supposed to be.
Right.
Maybe AJ. Those are the only, to me, that's the only people that can contend with Wemby in the future being the best player in the NBA.
Sure. So we're looking at the best player in the league plus the best defensive player in the league. That's what we're looking at.
Well, that's
what makes him the best player in the league.
Yeah. But see, there's but we have guys that, like, I think Joker's the best player in the league. I don't think he's the best defensive player in the game. So
but Wemby won't be the best offensive and defensive player. He's going to be the best player in the league, but a large part of it will be because he's the best defender. Jokic is the best player because he's the best offensive player in the league. And he's, I'll say, adequate enough on defense so people don't get mad at me. Adequate enough on defense that his offense alone can make him the best. Giannis's case was he was a top 5 defender in the league, just so no one gets top 5 defender in the league and one of the best offensive players in the league. The Embiid's case is a top 10 offensive and defensive player in the league. I'm not saying he is the best player. I'm just saying that's his case. And Luka's case is he's the best offensive player in the league. And although he's not a good defender, his offense makes up for it. Wemby's case will be I'm the best defender in the league and maybe a top 10 offensive player in the league. That's his case. He's not going to be the best offensive and defensive player in the league. I don't think that plays.
I don't know, Mark.
That's what I'm about to say, Mark.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
if he does that, then he's the best player ever. Like,
when he gains some weight, when he gets a little, maybe not a bunch of weight, like I said, but he gets stronger, he can turn into a demon on that block. And the way he shoots the ball, he pull up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not willing to just take that off the table.
I'm really not, Ox, because first of all, he's going to get better as a long ball shooter. One of the things that's really going to help his game is his ability to screen, because with his ability to screen, now he's going to be better in the pick and pop. He's going to be better in the pick and dive, way better in that. We already seen him stretch the defense with the long ball. I still got to see him pass the ball. I don't think he'll ever be Joker good, but if he's good enough where he keeps defenses honest as a passer, Mars, if we're talking about a guy who can possibly be a top 10, maybe even a top 8, top 7 offensive player, plus the best defensive player in the game, I think that's pretty impressive. I do think that's pretty impressive. The issue that
Giannis and Embiid,
but the difference, the issue that I'm having with this is I feel like we're turning him into that already when I don't think he's there yet. That's same thing with him on the defensive side of the basketball. I feel like we're turning him into that when he's not there yet. Wemby still doesn't, as good as he is as a defender, as good as he is as a rim protector, he could be a better rebounder. He still doesn't understand coverages, not as well as he's going to. And I think this stuff is going to improve. I just don't want to turn this dude into something that he's not yet, even though I think he's going to be that.
Right, chill. That's what I was trying to say.
What up, PC Nation? Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this July with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/playerschoice50 and use code PlayersChoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code PlayersChoice50 at factormeals.com/PlayersChoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
Nah, but chill. That's like I'm saying though. I think.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, Ox.
I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows what he's doing like that yet.
Right.
I think he's based mostly on athleticism, size, and just playing. You know what I mean? Just playing and just doing his thing. Now I don't think he's like a low IQ player. I'm not gonna call him dumb. I just think he's still getting there. So with his skill set, with his capabilities, I think it's going to be easier for him to learn how to play good defense. Because I honestly don't think he's a great defender. I just think he's just big as hell. He can get to spots, block shots. I think he will be, but I think he will be though. It's when you because you can see he wants to play defense. He's trying to play defense. Yeah. So now I think he's gonna learn angles and learn how to beat people to spots and learn. And I think Marge, you were saying something about one of the guys. And I remember I was like, yo, that is such a good point. Like Mars being here before. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that we can see somebody's blocks go down because they're actually playing better defense, it's real. Yeah. Like it's real. Because when I beat you to a spot, you're not going to shoot. You know what I mean? Typically, I know for a fact I've let guys go by me just so I'm smacking that. You know what I mean? So I think Wemby does that too, but that's bad defense. You know what I mean? And so I think he's going to get away from doing stuff like that, and also having better defenders around him is going to help him play defense as well. So I think we are looking at eventually the best defender in the game and potentially the best offensive player in the game too.
Yep.
Fellas, I'm going to play this video by D'Angelo Russell. This is where this whole thing was sparked from. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Want to make sure that you guys can hear it. All right, here we go.
Hey, listen, league in a good place.
It's in a good hands. Wemby. I told niggas he should have been rookie of the year, defensive player, most improved, all NBA, slick MVP. Like for real, bro. Like he gonna do some shit.
No fucking reason.
He gonna do some shit.
He shouldn't have been defensive player of the year.
I agree with you 100%.
I don't give a fuck what nobody says.
100%.
There's zero reason he should. People were scared to shoot the ball on them motherfuckers.
Yeah, 1-on-5 fast break was shooting the jumpers.
They was running out to the 3-point line.
I don't know how Rudy
Team
got it again, but I agree with you.
105.
I can't wait to float Wemby. She's talking about I can't wait to dunk him. I can't wait to float your big ass. I saw what you said. Look at that. You're a little clever, dude.
Hey, listen, league in a good place.
It's in a good.
Oh, go ahead.
So he was essentially saying that Wemby will be that, not that he was that.
Well, the rookie of the year stuff, he's saying he was, but the other stuff is like he's that good. But what makes someone a great defender if both of you guys are saying Wemby's not a great defender? What makes you a great defender?
IQ.
Go ahead, Chip.
IQ. Your ability to decipher offenses, your ability to rebound, your ability not to foul, knowing when to block shots, not just when to block shots, how you affect defenses just in the paint, on the perimeter, how you affect offenses overall. those are just the few things that I think in terms of a defender makes you a great defender. How your teammates play off of you as a defender, how much better they are because of you as a defender. I think that those are some of the things that make you a great defender.
So
I think
how many?
Wemby-
Go ahead, Ox.
I think I'm more so nitpicking.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm nitpicking with the just relying on the ability to block the shot instead of actually stopping the play, stopping the driver. I think I'm nitpicking on that a little bit, but more so and this is why I'm definitely nitpicking. It's because I'm judging where he is now to where I think he's gonna be in 2-3 years. Like I think he's gonna be a much better defender than he is. So maybe I'm saying he's not a great defender because I think he has little things he can tweak to become better. So that might be unfair. I think I might be unfair, but I'm just basing it on that.
I don't think you are though, Ox, because I think Wemby is the big kid in the yard. That's who he is. Like he's the big kid in the yard that doesn't really know his own strength yet until he actually gets around other big kids and then understands, all right, I can't do this. I can't push this guy over. I can't run through this guy, but I can still dominate in a smarter way. And when I think about how good Wemby can be, as opposed to what he is now, Mars, you brought up a really interesting point when you told me that the year Shaq led the league in rebounding in 2000 at 14, that wasn't even Shaq at his best as a rebounder. He was better earlier, but when I say he was better earlier not too much earlier, because he did understand how to rebound, as opposed to like in year 2 when he's averaging 14 rebounds, he still doesn't understand how to rebound at an elite level yet. He's just a big kid in the yard with a bunch of small kids, and I'm just bigger, faster, and stronger than everybody. Once he actually learned how to do that, he got way better at it.
Chill, my man. You always do this. It's usually in the past, but now you're doing it in the future. You're knocking Wemby currently because he's not as good as he's going to be. We can't name 3 better defenders in the NBA than Wemby.
I think I could, but I get it.
I'm sure
whether he's as smart as whether he's not as smart as he could be, or not as smart as he's gonna be, whether he's not as anticipatory as he's gonna be, whether he doesn't have the IQ, whether he doesn't have the strength, he's still in an elite class right now. He was good enough to win the Defensive Player of the Year, and he had a horse in that race. But chill, you also do this with LeBron James. Because LeBron isn't what he used to be, you won't give him enough credit for how good he is right now.
Here's why, Ron.
I don't want to turn this into a LeBron James conversation.
No, but Ron, I'm with you. Me and you, we seeing like this right now.
And I understand that. And the reason why, okay, so I want to stay on Wemby, but the reason why with James is because of what he used to be. That's what he's compared to. Same logic with Wemby. We're talking about Wemby and what he's going to be. What he is today isn't what he's going to be. I feel like in 4 years, I think 3-4 years from now, he's going to be a much better defender than what he is right now. And then we're going to look back on him in year 2 as opposed to what he is in year 6 and be like, damn, how much better is he? And we're not going to compare him in year 2 than we do in year 6. And then when he gets to year 9 or year 10, we're not going to talk about him as much. So I'm comparing these guys. I'm comparing James to what he used to be, and I can't compare him to what he is now to that. I can't do, and the same logic moves with Wemby, where I can't compare him today, a guy who just finished his rookie season, to what he's going to be in like year 6. This is barring injury.
What if he gets worse though?
But why?
We're talking about him getting better. What if he gets worse?
Why are we comparing them to themselves when we're talking about their standing in the league? If Wemby's not a great defender, in your opinion, it shouldn't be because he's going to get better. It should be because there's other guys in the league who are better than him. So who are the great defenders in the league and why are they better than Wemby?
So the great defenders in the league. So Bam, Evan Mobley, Alex Caruso, Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert,
Jaden, Herb.
Jaden, Herb. Drew, did I say Drew Holiday? I don't know if I brought Drew Holiday. Yeah, Drew Holiday. So one of the main reasons why I feel like, for example, let's say Anthony Davis. He's a better defender off the strength that, one, he's been around longer. He understands coverages better. He's a better rebounder. He's a better rim protector. Off the strength that he's been around longer and he understands the game better. Wemby is doing what he's doing strictly off the strength that I'm just bigger, faster, and stronger than a lot of other people right now. I can't put him in the same category with Anthony Davis yet because I don't feel like he's reached that level where he's that good. I do think that he's going to be there at some point, and I think he's going to stay there. I just don't think that he's there yet. And that's because, not just because of his ability yet, but because of what he knows as a player. I think he's going to learn that later on.
Yeah, we just fundamentally disagree. Yeah, I guess. I don't. He's great to me. He might not be as great as he's going to be, but the potential is he's the best defender ever. So I'm not going to be like, well, he's not great until he reaches his potential. I mean, the impact is there for all of us to see. And I agree with, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ox, you were saying that Wemby isn't a great defender because fundamentally he plays bad defense, but he has the physical tools to make up for it. But he needs to be better in terms of I agree with what you're saying. Yeah. But I think for me, defense is just about how you impact the defensive side of the floor. If your team is very good defensively because of you, or you're making teams struggle to score offensively because of your presence, you're a great defender. Even if you are flawed in your approach, like Matisse Thybulle, one of the most flawed perimeter defenders I've seen in terms of his actual approach to how he guards people. But it's effective. It's what no one else could probably defend like he does it, but it's effective. So I'm going to call him a great defender, even though it's fundamentally flawed. Wemby, I think, is a fundamentally flawed defender right now, but because of his tools give him I'm not going to call it an unfair advantage, but they give him an advantage. So he's able to make more mistakes than the average person because of what he has at his disposal. But he's so impactful on that side of the floor that I'm still going to call him great, even though he's not as good as he may be in the future, but he still impacts defense more than. And I love Caruso. He's more impactful on defense than Caruso is. He's more impactful on defense than Jaden McDaniels is. He's more impactful to the Spurs defense than Jaden McDaniels is to the Timberwolves. Even though
I don't know about that, Morris.
Yeah, and we can have the conversation. Because I still think they're both great. Like, I'm not gonna be like Jaden McDaniels isn't great, but Wemby is. I think they're both great, but I think Wemby is in that group, even though he's not the smartest defender yet. He does allow people to get by him so that they think they have an open layup so he can erase it. Sure. Those are all things that are bad defense. But at the end of the day, if guys are afraid to shoot around him, guys can't score over him, he might not be as good of a rebounder as he can be, but at the end of the day, he's 7'4". He's grabbing the ball off the rim. Like, he's still doing those things. So I still think he impacts defense at a high enough level to where I can call him a great defender, even though he's not gonna be, even though he's nowhere close to where he can be. But where he can be is the best defender ever. I'm not gonna be like, well, you're not great until you reach your potential. I feel like that's the Shaq thing. I feel like that's the Shaq thing. It's like that's not what I'm not gonna say Shaq's top 5 or top 10 because he underachieved, but what he did was still better than everyone else. So like,
100%.
I'm not gonna be like, nah, you're not great because you could have done more. No, you're great because of how great you did.
No, but that's not what I'm saying, Omar. What I am saying is I think that Wemby, when I think what we misconstrue is him being great, like what you think he's gonna be. I do think Wemby is an awesome defender. I won't argue that. I will not argue that. But for what everybody thinks he is right now, okay, he finished second in Defensive Player of the Year, which is a pretty big deal. I won't argue that. But he still has flaws in his game defensively that because he's so skilled, because he's so big and athletic, he makes up for those flaws and it looks different. Now, when he gets older and he gets more mature and understands how to beat guys to spots, how to get to the rim without fouling, how to be a better rebounder. Wemby should be a double-figure rebounder walking in the door. He should be a 10 rebounder game guy.
He averaged 10.
Did he average 10 rebounds this year? Are we sure? I'm pretty confident.
He averaged 10 and a half and he played 29 minutes. Like,
you guys are trying to nitpick.
But this is what I'm talking about.
He's playing less minutes than everyone, and he's like, the league leader was like 12. He's getting 2 less rebounds and playing like 6 less minutes. Like, he's doing the things that you want him to do. It's just like, because he can be better at them in the future, we're not going to give him the credit for it now. Like, I
am giving him credit for it now. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to overrate him, though. That's what I'm not going to do.
Whenever Mobley came second in Defensive Player of the Year in year 2, was he a great defender?
I don't think he was where he was going to be, but
was he great? Was Evan Mobley in year 2 a great defender?
No, I don't think so.
Then I just think, we just fundamentally disagree on what it means to be great. Then I guess Michael Jordan was a great player the moment he stepped in the league, despite the fact he was a flawed player.
I think,
despite that he was great the moment he stepped in.
That's where the divide is, because when you're talking about great, man, you're talking about a guy that night in and night out, this is what I can expect moving forward, and I'm going to get even better. I think when we're talking about a guy being great, I think the divide is here and here. Like what constitutes great? I think Evan Mobley was a damn good defender in year 2. I don't think that he could have been a better. I still think he could have been a better rebounder, as good as he was. I think he was a damn good rebounder. I think he was an excellent rim protector. I think he was great at anticipatory. I think his anticipation was great. I think all of that stuff was fantastic. I still think that as great as he could be, I didn't want to overrate him. That's why I felt like moving forward, he's going to be even better.
Yo, chill. Your best friend Swiper has entered the chat, and he's asked me to ask you a couple questions. Are you willing to answer Swiper's questions?
Why isn't Swiper here?
But
But
pull
that's
up,
fine.
pull up, Baldy.
It's
Yeah,
Wednesday.
that's fine.
You're a busy man.
Whatever. Sure.
He's busy shining that egghead.
First off, before we get to Swiper's question, who's all great as a defender in the NBA?
Who's all great?
Yes, who are the great defenders? If Wemby's not
Bam's
great, who's the great defender?
I think Bam's a great defender. I think Giannis is a great defender. I think Giannis is a great rim protector. I do think he's a great defender. I think Anthony Davis is a great defender. I think Rudy Gobert is a great defender. I think Herb Jones.
Jonathan Isaac.
For the minutes that Jonathan Isaac plays, yes, Mars. I do think that I do think he's a great defender.
Yeah.
Okay. Swiper said, first off, you're lying, old man. Then he said, you don't make sense. He said, how are you not a great defender if you are clear top 5? Ask him, please. He said, Bam, AD, Rudy, Wemby. Who's better, old man?
Who is
Well, I
better?
don't think Chill thinks he's top 5, so you guys just disagree.
I don't.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, yeah, me and Chill just disagree on where like for me, if you're great compared to your peers, not compared to what you can be. That's just my opinion. Michael Jordan was great the moment he stepped in the league. Magic Johnson was great. Larry Bird was great. They were great players the moment they stepped in.
Right.
Not because that's the best they were ever going to be. Magic Johnson obviously peaked in like 87, but he was great from the moment he stepped in because he was one of the best players in the NBA.
But he was ridiculously flawed, though.
Yeah, there's guys who are flawed.
Magic
Jokic is still flawed today. Luka is still flawed today. They're still great. Like,
wait, so chill.
Being flawed doesn't. If having flaws means you can't be great,
the flaws aren't.
There's maybe like one great player ever.
Sure, and I can get with that logic. The flaws.
I just up to people's discretion.
The flaws. Your flaws in year 2 are different than your flaws in year 6. Way different. And I
Michael
feel like
Jordan was never a good 3-point shooter.
But he was better in year 6 than he was in year 2. 100%. He just sucked less. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, yeah. I mean, pretty much, yeah. He was never good at it. So that was always a flaw of his. So
he was definitely he wasn't bad in 1992. He wasn't bad in 91 as a long ball shooter.
Let's get to the numbers.
We can
maybe you're right. Let's see.
Relative
31% when you take one a game, that's not good. That's not a good
relative to what was going on during that time. I mean,
that just means the league had no good. That means everyone was flawed. That means no one was great.
That's not.
Now it's relative to the time, but now we're looking at the league. So is it relative or is it not relative? Because
it is relative. But
Wemby's great relative to the league right now, but you're saying he's not because he can be better. Michael Jordan was not a good 3-point shooter by any objective measure. He wasn't good.
Sure.
So he was flawed.
And Wemby is great relative to the league. There's nobody in the league outside of LeBron James who we think is going to be the best player ever. Nobody. So is he great relative to the league? Or is he great relative to what his potential is going to be right now?
He's great relative to the league. The same way Domantas Sabonis is a great player. No one's saying Sabonis is going to be the best player ever, but he's objectively a great player. Maybe that one guy who voted him defensive player of the year, shout out to him. But like, no one with a brain is saying he's going to be the best player ever, but he's a great player. Like, there's a lot of great players in the league who aren't going to be in all-time conversations. I don't think you have to be in an all-time topic to be considered a great player. I think Mitch Richmond was a great player when he played. Reggie Miller was a great player. Penny Hardaway was a great player. Derrick Rose was a great player. There's a bunch of great players who, some of them injuries, obviously, but you're not in all-time talks. You can be great without being in all-time talks.
I think you guys are underselling, too, Wemby's IQ. All right, I really think you guys are underselling his IQ just because he's a young guy and a rookie. If we were to break down Bam, if we were to break down AD, if we were to break down, you could even go with. I'll keep Drew out of this. Jaden McDaniels.
How are you grading his IQ like being high, bro? Like, I'm not, and like I said, I don't think he's dumb or nothing like that. I'm just curious.
Learning fast is a sign of great IQ. If you learn quick, you're smart. Wemby learns quick.
And also, he got thrown in a new league on a new team with a bunch of terrible defenders. So let's say we put Rudy on the Heat. Let's say we put Rudy on, God forbid, the Celtics. I mean, not Rudy, Wemby on the Celtics, on the Heat. Let's say we put him on all of these other teams that are good defensive teams. How much better does that make him look? But also, I'm willing to bet he raises the other players' ability to play defense by a mile. And I think he does that better than anybody in the league.
Did he learn fast or just get comfortable, Ron? Or do you consider that the same thing?
He learned to get comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fairly the same thing. But I mean, here's the thing. It's an adjustment period for everybody. It's always an adjustment period. He went from playing in the French league to playing in the NBA. It's completely different athletes, completely different play style, completely different coaching system. And once again, too, he wasn't playing on the best defense on that good of a defensive team. I've said this all the time, and I sincerely believe this. As an offensive player, for the most part, and as a defensive player, you look better when you're with better players. It's easier to play. It's more comfortable when you have guys communicating. Imagine if Wemby had some good vets that can tell him, yo, be here. Oh, you don't got to worry about that. Do this, do that.
So like they're going to have this year.
Yeah.
Harrison Barnes, Chris Paul.
He should look miles better. And what's his name too? Castle. He just naturally is a good defender as well. So now you got a point of attack defender, and then you got Wemby on the back end. It's going to look a whole lot better for him. Yeah.
So if he looks back to what he was.
I like Castle. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves with the young fella yet.
He can defend. He can defend, but like how much he's going to play, and then obviously new league, much better talent you're going against, understanding schemes and stuff. But Wemby, by most people who have worked with Wemby, by watching him play, you can see he learns fast. But he also, once again, there are things that he just either doesn't understand or just isn't very good at defensively yet either. But I don't think having weaknesses means that you can't be great, because if that's the measure of greatness, having no weaknesses, we're really looking at what? Kobe.
We don't have any players. I don't think we have any players that have any weaknesses.
Scotty.
Hey man, I've seen Scotty's 3-point percentages, man. Like that's what I'm like. If we're going, Wemby is flawed. Everyone is flawed, but Wemby has clear flaws. He's also not that good in drop in terms of like his positioning and being able to contain the ball. But he's so mobile and he's 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan, so he's able to be out of position and recover. But in terms of positioning, he's still flawed. But because of his tools, he's able to still make the impact that a guy who other players would need perfect positioning to be able to make the impact that Wemby can make while being out of position. So he has an advantage. His floor is just higher defensively because he can be out of position and impact plays. But I'm not going to say because he's out of position, he's not a great defender, when he's still impacting plays just as much as someone who was be in position would impact the plays.
So let me say he's not as great as he's going to be. How about that?
Yes, I agree. But as great as he's going to be, he might be the best player ever.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
But if he becomes the best defensive and best offensive player in the league, that's the best player ever. Like, the only guys who I think maybe can have an argument for that is Kareem in the 70s.
Facts.
Maybe LeBron for like that little stretch in Miami. No one else.
Hakeem? 95?
What, when Jordan was out of the league?
Yeah.
Well, Jordan was in the league for 17 games. But Hakeem, maybe. Yeah.
94
maybe.
then, 94.
Yeah, maybe Hakeem. So Kareem, maybe Hakeem. I'd have to like really think if I do think he's the best offensive player, but probably. LeBron, Miami, maybe.
Are we talking about guys with no flaws, Mars? Is that what we doing?
No, the guys who were the best offensive and the best defensive player in the league.
I think Jordan. Well, no, Jordan was never.
That man was not better than Hakeem.
He was never better a defensive player than Jordan. I mean, Hakeem. No, he wasn't. That's not true.
Brown was never the best defender in the league.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe, because you know some guys are like he got robbed.
Was he better? Was James better than? Was he better than Howard in 13?
I don't think LeBron was ever
13
the best defender in the NBA.
is Lakers, Dwight, right? I think he was better than
Yes.
Dwight in LA.
Was he better than Gasol?
I see the case both ways. LeBron was more versatile, but
Right.
Marc Gasol was.
I think where the divide with you and me, Mars, is Wemby being what I think he's going to be and what he is right now aren't close. I still feel like in 5 years we're gonna look at Wemby in 2029. We're gonna look at Wemby in 2024 and see a distinct difference between the two of those guys. And we're measuring Wemby. And when I say we, people are measuring Wemby as a generational talent, which I do think that he is. So to say that he's going to be, is he great? Yes. Is he as great as he's going to be? No.
No, not even close.
No, I don't think so.
The sky's the limit for him, for real.
All right, chat. I need y'all to lock in and do me a favor. Go to www.playerschoicemerch.com and get you something real nice. We got these hoodies right here. These are the X-Casual hoodies. We got other shirts that really give you the quote of the year. Only winning matters. We got shirts that tell you to take it light, but make sure you take it. Another good thing. So go visit that. Check out some good stuff and grab you something as well. Support your favorite brand, playerschoicemerch.com. Also, like the video while you at it. Shout out to our subscribers. Shout out to all of our members. Hall of Fame members specifically. You guys know the names, you know the faces, but in case you don't, Multi-Kenny, Cobra Son of Raditz, Dorian Clayton, and Kendall Daniels. Big shout out to them guys. As you can see on the banner right there at the bottom below, Mars and Big Ox. Tonight is PCL day. Wednesday, baby. We got some good matchups today. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But make sure you pull up at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time to check out the first matchup, which would be Jack, Cody, and Dion from Ohio. And then we got my man Big Ox and Casual. Then we got Elder Rufus and OG the Beast capping it off at 9 p.m. Eastern time as well. Y'all be sure to pull up and check out the PCL tonight. It's $1,000 at stake and a belt and bragging rights with the best debaters on planet Earth, all in one room. Be sure to pull up. I got a couple super chats, and then we're going to change gears. My man Kyle Martinez sent through a super chat. He's been a member for 8 months. He said, question for Chill. Peak Tatum or peak Harden?
Peak James Harden. In fact, that's who Jayson Tatum is turned into. And not minus the scoring as much, but that's essentially who he's turning into. So it's peak James Harden. Peak James Harden. That 34 and that 36 and that 30 and 9, 30 and 10. I mean, I hadn't seen anything like that from a guy. I hadn't seen anything like that. Nope.
Have we seen peak Tatum yet?
No, I don't think.
Well, right now he's at his peak, but if he gets better, then that would be his new peak. But yeah,
I think he's in his prime, Mars. I don't think he's in his peak years yet. I think he's in his prime years. I don't think because I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference between prime years, like Bam, for example. I think Bam, he's in his peak years right now. I think that I'm going to get 3 or 4 more years of this I'm going to get 4 more years of this with Bam, but I don't think that I've seen Jayson Tatum's peak years yet.
I'm just saying it's your peak until you surpass it. Like 89 Jordan was the best Jordan ever until 92 Jordan came. I'm just saying like theoretically.
Yeah.
89
No,
Jordan.
you're not saying theoretically. That's a fact, Mars. I get
but because some people gonna get mad at me like I'm not trying to have
when I say that.
I'm not trying to have
89
like,
Jordan
get mad
was
at
better
me.
than
The
88
point,
Jordan. Yes, he
the
was.
point I'm
Yo,
making
Mars,
is
what's up with you?
Jordan. Because I can't be bothered for people to miss the point and start arguing about what's better, 89 or 92 Jordan. That's not my point. My point is your peak is what your best ever until it gets surpassed. Right now, Luka's peak is 2023, 2024. If he gets better by 2027, that will then be his peak.
Right.
But as of now, the best Luka's ever been has been the last 2 seasons. So that's Luka's peak. When he gets better, that will be his new peak. But until then, this is Luka's peak. Same way with Steph Curry in 2015. That was his peak until 2016 happened. And then that was his peak. Like peak is just the best you've ever been. The mountain can keep getting higher, but right now the peak of the mountain is what Jayson Tatum's at right now. And now if the mountain just grows, then yeah, that's his new peak. But right now, the best we've ever seen is right now. So that's his peak until
Mars. I thought his peak was last year though.
You get my point. Like, you get my point. My point is the best you've ever seen
last year. I'm saying
until something else happens. That's all I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. I'm more so asking a question. Like, so not this last year, but the year before that, when he averaged 30, I thought that was the best JT I ever seen.
So Mars, to ask, I'd like to ask Mars if I'm at my peak. Okay, let's say for example what Jayson Tatum did last year, or what James Harden did in 18, where he was 34 and I think 10 that year. If he stays at that the next year, let's say that instead of going to 36, let's say it stays at 34. Am I still in my peak?
Yeah, you can. I always do multi-year peaks because
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, anyone can have an outlier
because I think that I'm still
they get lucky. But
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so like I always try to get multiple years for someone's peak because having a great single season and then falling off a cliff, like I'm not gonna be like, well, this is how good you were. You probably just got lucky for 82 games. Shout out to you. But like multi-years, I do think multi-years is the best way to do peak. But all I'm saying is right now, a peak is always the best you've ever been.
Right.
And it's easy to judge peaks when a player's career is over because you've seen their whole career, so you can really pick out when they were at their best. Yep. But when a player's career is going on, their peak is just the best they ever were. So James Harden's peak in 2016 was 2015. That was the best he's ever been. 2015 was James Harden's best ever year to that point. And then he surpassed it with 17, 18, and 19, and then that was his peak. And then 20 and 21 came along, and it's like, oh, we've got 5 years of James Harden being one of the 5 best players on the planet. That's his peak. And now we can look at James Harden's decline on the back end after his hamstring injury. We know James Harden's peak was from 17 to 21. That is James Harden at his peak. We know that now. But during the time, maybe it was like, is this James Harden peak? Can he get even better? What if James Harden starts playing defense? Like that could have been the talks at the time. But we obviously now know, with looking back on it, we know when James Harden's peak was. It's easier to have the conversation after the fact than while it's happening because it's always out. He can get better. Like when Giannis was 24 and winning MVPs, it's like, well, if he can shoot, and then it turns out he never figured out how to shoot. So it's like, oh, well, where do we go from
here? Can't do that. But Mars, what I was saying is, I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about like, what's up with you with all the disclaimers and I don't want nobody to get mad. Like if they don't,
because I hate getting taken out of context. It's so annoying.
Well, all they got to do is use their think box and listen to what you're saying.
Yeah, but people aren't very smart. I have to try to walk people through.
That's not a you problem, Mars. That's not a you problem. That's not.
No, but it annoys me. I was in my debate with ZZ and I brought up about Ray Allen's numbers with Rondo because I was like, this is the best playmaker Ray Allen played with. And people were like, LeBron? Like, clearly I'm not talking about his last 2 years when he was washed up. So I didn't think I had to say that, but people just can't think. So now I'm like, let me just walk people through it so they can't misunderstand what I'm saying. Because I didn't know I had to clarify. I was talking about Ray Allen's best playmaker in his prime. I didn't think I would have to say that. But people can't comprehend unless you walk them straight to the point you're trying to make. If you leave any room for them to think for themselves, they start saying stupid stuff. So I have to try and walk them to the point without them getting led astray to say something stupid. So I'm trying my best to make sure I can't get misunderstood. I'm doing my very best. Someone's going to find a way to try and make anything I said about how Wemby's just trash or something. I don't know. But I've tried my best to walk people to the point. I'll even bring them a wheelchair if they can't walk. I'll push them to the point. I'm trying to just help them as best I can. That's what I'm trying to do.
Helping out the people. Nope. Mars, all I'm saying is, if they miss your point when you give it to them playing on the plate, then F them. You know what I'm saying?
That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. That's a
but it's annoying for me to see stupidity. So I'm trying to just like.
That's because you English, Mars. That's an English thing.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I mean, Mars, technically. I'm not even gonna do it, Mars.
You're going wrong, man.
And to your point, Mars, 89 Jordan was better than 88 Jordan.
Oh, for sure. But
yes, he was.
Puerto Rico is playing Serbia right now as we currently speak. It's 26-18 Serbia in the second quarter. Jokic already has 9 rebounds.
Come on, Jose Alvarado, you can do this, man.
We'll see how this goes. 29-18 right now. So that game is currently underway. We also got USA versus South Sudan at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. So right after the panel goes off, we are getting blessed with some good USA Olympic basketball versus the South Sudanese team as well. Shout out to them because they've been holding their own. They've been balling. Curious to see how this game goes today, fellas. Any thoughts, any predictions?
On what, USA?
Yeah, we're gonna
or South Sudan.
Yeah, but that game. I predict Jayson Tatum will play. I predict Jayson Tatum will play. So tomorrow we'll see what we're in uproar about. Maybe Kevin Durant plays 6 minutes. We'll see what we have to be mad about when USA get there.
No way.
We'll see. There'll be something for us to get mad about.
6 minutes. It's no way. I mean, we could technically say just how we said that Steve Kerr's a Steph Curry merchant. I mean, at this point, he's kind of a Kevin Durant merchant too.
Just call him a superstar merchant. I mean,
we could say that.
Yeah, call him what you want, but at the end of the day, he's gonna win another gold medal.
Mars, no. I don't want to leave no room for anybody to comprehend anything else. I gotta walk him straight to the point. You are a Kevin Durant and Steph Curry merchant, but more specifically, them together.
Hey, can we talk about something real quick?
Yes.
Because as we know, yesterday I was the only one that was not watching the game as it happened. I was gonna do a graveyard shift about this topic specifically yesterday, but I got caught up in some
shot
things,
at
right? No, it's not a shot up. When I start shooting, hit the deck. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't got no accuracy. I'm just letting this thing go. But look though, Ron, what I'm saying is, why didn't any of y'all tell me that wasn't even a foul? Why didn't any of y'all tell me that?
Because I didn't see the replay.
Why didn't y'all tell me that that France put the call in like, yo, we can't lose this game to Japan. We have to win. Why didn't anybody tell me that wasn't a foul? First of all, and second of all, why were y'all even letting us debate that yesterday? When the play, he stood at the top of the key, going between his legs, and then shot the ball.
I said that he just dribbled the shot clock down and took a 29-foot. I said that.
Yo,
that's what he did.
Literally wasted 30 minutes of my time arguing about something that if you're watching it, God, that had me. I watched it. I was like, I can't believe this. But anyways, I don't want to get hung up on that.
I saw it wasn't a foul. I didn't see that at the time. I just saw like he flailed and he made the shot. I was like, that's crazy. I won. But yeah, it wasn't a foul. And Ruby also shouldn't have got ejected. But the Olympics is in Paris. Just go do your thing, man. The Olympics in Paris, rig the games. Why not? France in the gold medal game confirmed.
No, that was crazy. That was not a foul at all. That was crazy.
They did Yuri dirty, man. He was hooping too, and then they ended up making him have to be the one to commit the fake foul. Poor officiating.
But anyways, though, today I think that we handle Team Sudan. I want to watch that game though. I want to see this.
I don't know if you guys remember. It's kind of flipped around, and I always reference the 2008 Spanish team that the gold medal game. I don't know if you guys remember. It was probably a week before that they played Spain. I think they beat them by like 40, something like that. The week before that, and in the gold medal game, they're in a one possession dogfight where Bryant ends the game basically by cracking the three, right? By ended up cracking the three. So Spain was more acclimated to what Team USA was doing. They changed coverages and they had gotten better. So I think the same thing goes on with Team USA. They're now more familiar with South Sudan. They know the athletes that they have. They know the kind of schemes that they run in. And Ox, to your point, when I walk on the floor and the line is 43.5, I'm like, all right, we're going to smoke these dudes. I ain't really thinking too much about it. I'm like, we should handle these dudes, only to find out that, yo, these dudes is really ballers. So the next time we see them, I'm going to be more prepared.
Right.
And I feel like
I'm thinking that even with that crazy line, I'm still thinking that Coach Kerr, Ty Lue, all these guys, Coach, all the coaches, and even the guys on the team, I'm sure they got enough sense to know like 43 is crazy. Like I'm hoping that they respected those guys a little more than that, and still maybe just got punched in the mouth still. But like to disrespect a team like that, I don't know. That's wild.
I'm calling it right now, guys. Jayson Tatum plays the most minutes tonight.
Oh,
I'm calling it right now. I think he plays the most minutes tonight. I don't think he's going to be like 25 or nothing like that. But just off the strength of what happened, I would not be surprised if he played the most minutes tonight of all the guys.
If he does that, I respect Steve Kerr so much less. Because, hey, in the words of my good friend Ticket, you did not stand on your nuts. You didn't stand on business. You didn't stick to your coaching philosophy. If your coaching philosophy is to not play Tatum and Halliburton, so be it. Yeah, stick to it. Do what you need to do to be the best coach you could possibly be.
Yeah.
Or just stick to your guns. Don't let the media get in your head. Don't let the chat get to you. Don't let people going crazy and X, Y, and Z get throw you off your pivot. If that's what you're supposed to do that. Now, granted, obviously how one of the super chats said yesterday, it's more than one way to skin a cat. Like he obviously can start Jayson Tatum and play him the most minutes and they'll win. But my man, like, don't flip flop like that. Don't go from not playing him at all.
Crazy. I
That
wouldn't
would
be
be
surprised,
insane.
Ron. I would not be surprised.
It's just rotation. If Tyrese Halliburton plays, like it's just we rotate the squad. We can win by resting Steph and KD if we wanted to.
Yep.
Just
that might be something they're doing this year. Like they might have already decided, look, every game, two of y'all aren't going to play. Sometimes KD, you get more minutes. Sometimes JT, you get more minutes. They might already have this already set up. Like this is just how we're doing things. You know, we never know. I have no idea. So I don't like that. I think it's corny, but that's how they want to play. It's their team. You know.
With that being said, against a more athletic South Sudanese team, like I could see Jayson Tatum playing definitely more minutes. A big athletic wing that can guard.
Are they going to try to outrun these old dudes, Ron?
I'm just thinking, don't bullshit me. Don't tell I'm going with KD and James tonight. Don't tell me that the matchups are an issue. And don't tell me that we need more rebounding on the front line. We need better perimeter defense. Because I do all of that stuff. Just say, I'm going with James. I'm going with KD. I want to get KD more run because he hasn't played. I think that would be more suffice than the matchups. Because now what you're making it sound like is you're making it sound like in addition to what's already going on with the narrative of me, now you compounding that with leaving me out of the lineup. So just say, I want to get KD more minutes tonight. I think KD being rusty, he'll help us out a lot more. I'm going to sit you tonight. That at least is the truth. As opposed to, I'm going to go with matchups. I'm one of the better perimeter defenders. I can handle these guys on the perimeter. I'm one of the best rebounding small forwards in the game. I can get on the glass with Serbia. That's not the issue. Clearly not. So just you don't have to hit me with nonsense. Just say what it really is. I'm going with this guy tonight.
Right.
The Serbians have kicked the door open. They really kicked the door off the hinges. They are up 37-20 right now in the second quarter. So we'll see if Jose Alvarado and the Puerto Rican gang can climb back into this game and make it something. But as of right now, let me talk to you guys a little bit about the groups in the men's field. As of right now, Canada's leading Group A 2-0.
Right.
They have, if I'm not mistaken, they've already punched their ticket to the next round. Germany and France are both 2-0 in Group B. If I'm not mistaken, they've already punched their ticket. Group C right now, it's both U.S. and South Sudan at the top. They're both 1-0. Obviously, they play today. The winner of that game will obviously be 1-0 or 2-0. And then you got Puerto Rico and Serbia right now that are both 0-1. They're clearly playing right now. So one of those teams will be 0-2. The other will be 1-1. I think the team that wins tonight between South Sudan and U.S., I think they will punch their ticket as well to the next round. But I do want to say one thing. So in Group A, let me just go ahead and throw this on the screen. So in Group A, obviously that's the Canadian team, the Australian team, the Spanish team, and the Greek team as well. They are in a close race. But you see that Greece is 0-2. Well, I was reading earlier that they still have a shot to advance to the next round. It would simply have to be, I think Canada plays Spain. So Canada will have to beat Spain, which will make Spain 1-2.
Right.
Greece plays Australia. They have to beat Australia by more than 10 points. And if those two things happen, Greece will advance.
That means the
Shout out to
Giannis
Greece going home, man. Shout out to Greece going home.
I was about to say that Giannis got to get super busy, right?
Shout out to Greece, man. They have a chance, but they're gonna lose. I mean, I guess
that would mean he has to get super busy. So good luck with that. Good luck with that. So I don't know, Ron.
You don't think so?
No, man. I don't
so
know.
you guys don't think that they can beat Australia by 10?
They gotta blow Australia out. That's what they have to do. They gotta blow Australia out. And Greece's guard play has not been very good at all.
Yeah.
It's been basically Giannis more than anybody. It's been Giannis, and the rest of those dudes have been pedestrian at best. And Australia, I'm on record saying, I think they run the best action in the whole Olympics. I don't think there's a team that runs better action than them. They just don't have the talent that Team USA has or Germany has. But I think they can handle Greece. I do. I think they can handle Greece. Unless Giannis goes for 40 which I'm not.
No, with Jock Landale hanging about, man. That ain't happening.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see that happening.
Facts.
All right, fellas. We're gonna go ahead and keep it pushing. I got a few more super chats, and then we are going to get into this LeBron versus John Stockton thing. Can't wait to talk about that. Well, Bobby Seven said, "Chill. Is Giannis not a great offensive player?"
He's a fantastic offensive player. There was a time when I said that Giannis was a better offensive player than Joker. I got off that hill. Yes, I did. I 100% did.
Chill. With that being said, like Giannis was so dominant for a second before Jokic really, like how Mars just said.
No, Ron, don't try and justify it. Ron.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like Mars.
I got off that
like,
hill.
You so eloquently described the whole peak thing. Giannis had peaked offensively. Not saying that he didn't get better, but I'm talking about this moment in time.
For like 3 weeks. That's it. This is all it was, Ron. It was like 3 weeks. That's all it was. That was it. That was it.
This is what I'm saying. This is what you do though. Now everything's starting to come into context. So Giannis had peaked in 1920, higher than Jokic had peaked offensively. Right? 1920, possibly 21. Giannis was a better.
Oh, okay. So you're saying in 2020, Giannis was a better offensive player than Jokic?
Yes.
Okay.
And so and Giannis was so.
I disagree, but I'm just gonna
go. But keep going.
In 2020,
I'm just going along. I understand the rationale.
Okay. So Giannis was so good at that moment in time, and Jokic was we were still starting to come along to Jokic. And remember, we were slow to come along to Jokic. It might be because
you guys were,
the way he looked. It might be because the way he played. It might be because other things. Whatever.
It might be because he just wasn't there yet. But
it could be that. So Giannis had league MVP. He was killing everything. Then Jokic was coming along, but chill. Kind of, this has been a tendency of you. We talked about it earlier. Maybe you were so focused on how good Giannis was, and you hadn't yet seen Jokic not only get to this point, but surpass him, that you still wasn't giving Jokic his credit yet until he clearly was like, all right, this dude is better than Giannis at this moment in time.
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, during that time, it was Giannis and Joker who were at the top of the league in terms of players. So I wasn't looking at Giannis as an inferior player to Joker. No, I never did that. I always looked at Joker in terms of his offensive ability because that's how I got turned on to him, because of what he could do offensively. And I never at that point, I didn't think that Giannis was a better offensive player, but I got caught up in the hype during that time watching Giannis going, damn, Giannis might be better than Joker. He might be better than Joker offensively because of what he was doing during that month and a half or so. Even though I never felt like Giannis was a better offensive player than him, I got caught up in that hype during that time. But then Joker reintroduced himself to me like, oh, you might have forgotten how good I was at this and at that. And I was like, you know what? I'm bugging, Joker. I apologize. He is not better than you as an offensive player. Let me get off this hill. So at no point, Ron, did I think that Giannis was a better offensive player than Joker previous to that stretch, but I got sucked into the hype and what he was doing. I think they had won like 16 out of 17 games, and he was getting busy. And I'm thinking he might be better than him. No, let's chill out on that.
Chill fell victim to recency bias, basically.
I did. Yes, 100% I did. Yes, I did. And then I got off of it.
Y'all just wait till next year.
And Puerto Rico is just too small. Like that's why they're getting cooked right now. They're just too small. So
just wait till next year. Giannis coming back to reclaim that throne. You guys,
what throne? What throne is that?
He can be the best player in the world. He's not going to be a better offensive player than you.
Those two things are not the same.
I'm not talking about that.
That's what we talking about.
Okay. Yeah, better play. Yeah, we can have the conversation. I mean, like I said,
100% we could do that.
He never going to be Jokic offensively, ever. Okay, well.
No,
I mean they just do different things.
I'm just saying, like, I think Giannis is about to come back and be the best player in the world next year.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Ron. I hear what you're saying too, Mars. I'm saying that they're two different offensive players. Now, I'm fine with you saying Giannis isn't a better offensive player than Jokic. But he does things that Jokic can't do on offense, just like Jokic does things that he can't do on offense. Just like, what do we value more? You know what I mean? If let's say Giannis had a great distributor, He don't need to be the distributor that Jokic is. I mean, running and dunking is a hard thing to do. It's not easy to run and dunk, you know. So I mean, I gotta respect
in front of you, especially with
right.
guys in it's not like you got a clear path to Ron.
Right.
It's
not easy to run and dunk, Ron.
It's not like you got a clear path to the basket every time because he doesn't. No,
it's not easy. It's not easy to be sick.
That's
no, but
I swear to God.
Wait, are we gonna act like Giannis? We can acknowledge that Giannis be running and dunking. Like we can acknowledge.
Yes.
Now,
and also acknowledge
nasty train too.
No, but we can also acknowledge that if it was easy to do, JaVale McGee would have been one of the best players.
Why is everybody not doing it, Ron?
Why is every 6'11" guy who can jump out the gym not Giannis? Because it's hard to do what Giannis does. But here I am that he be running and dunking.
Here I am showing Giannis some love, and Ron trying to turn me into a hater. I'm saying like it's not like
it's a lot Giannis, more to it than running and dunking.
Like, I know that. I know that.
Just like all they do is drive cars around a circle.
Well, that is a fact.
That is NASCAR.
It's harder to run and dunk than it is to drive cars around a circle. But what I'm saying is this, Ron. Like I understand. I'm talking about the things that Jokic don't do. Like Jokic can't run and dunk. Giannis can't.
Whoa, you know I seen him dunk that fast break against the Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards right there. I seen him come down the lane. I seen it. Sorry, carry.
Jokic is a better facilitator and shooter. Giannis is not. So I'm just talking about the things that this one does better than this one. Like Giannis is amazing at running and dunking. Jokic is amazing at facilitating the offense. And you know,
he's better in the mid-range. He's better in the mid-range.
Jokic is better at being the better offensive player, but Giannis is better at. Giannis is better.
But Giannis could potentially still be better than Jokic though.
As a player, yeah.
100%.
I think his defense. I still think his defense is a little hype, but he has all the tools and he is a good defender. So he could for sure be better than Jokic. For sure.
Yeah, you can make the case for sure. Like, I'm not. I go Jokic. I've been had Jokic, but like I said, offensively, it's not a conversation. But overall game, when you start factoring in the defense, yeah, you can make the case. But I don't think it's crazy. I don't think we're at a point. Especially when Jokic's jump shot was worse this year than it was in 23. 23 Jokic, when he's shooting the ball like that, yeah, I'm sorry. I just think he's the best player in the world by a significant margin. But if his jump shot regresses back to where it is this year, yeah, you can have the conversation about who the best player in the world is. And Giannis is definitely in that conversation. He's that good. I do feel like people have forgot about Giannis in large part because he's been unhealthy in the postseason and he hasn't won a playoff game since 2022. So, like, people forget.
He did.
I told you.
I regular season.
I know that sounds.
Yeah, Giannis hasn't won a playoff game in 2 years. Giannis hasn't won a playoff.
Yeah, I know, but it's. Are you saying he's a bum?
No, not a bum. But the indictment.
See, here we go. Yeah.
No, he's not a bum. But the indictment papers are being typed up right now.
Ron.
I'm telling you,
no arrest warrant has been issued, but the indictment papers are being typed up. Ox. Yes, they are.
Y'all just get ready for the year of the Giannis. That's all we're gonna call it.
I'm here for it.
Yes, they are.
And I'm just trying to figure out how we just forget that in 73 games, okay, he missed the playoffs, but he played 73 regular season games. This is just for everybody out there that has amnesia right now because you remember what Ant was doing in the playoffs. You remember what Jalen Brunson was doing against the Indiana Pacers and the Philadelphia 76ers. You seen Joel play through injuries, so it was like, okay, Joel's out here balling. You remember what SGA was doing. You remember Luka going to the championship. You remember Jayson Tatum getting outplayed by Jaylen Brown. You remember all of this stuff, okay? But you forget that Giannis played 73 regular season games.
No, we don't.
He averaged 6.5 assists. If I'm not mistaken, 6.5 assists is his career high.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you forget that Giannis averaged 11.5 rebounds.
Yep.
Think that was good for what? Top 5?
I think it was
top
fourth
5
in the league.
Fourth in the league in rebounds. So career high assists, fourth in the league in rebounds. And I think he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was top 5 in points.
Well, this is why that basketball. This is why basketball is so dangerous, Ron. Because you just say you talking about this assist and his rebounds. Well, if you want to look at just stats, I think DeMontis had more assists and rebounds than that. So let's just stay away from the basketball for a little bit. Let's stay away from the basketball.
Get the book started, Mars.
Let me actually fact check that. Maybe he ain't.
Because according to Ron, DeMontis must be better than Giannis, right? I mean, from what you're talking about.
if we doing that.
Where's the
I mean, because we
correlation
playing
in that?
basketball. We playing
No,
basketball.
we're not playing Matt. Yo,
never mind. Giannis has the higher vote. Never mind.
No matter how you slice it, and I'm not comparing.
I don't think he's better than Giannis. I don't think he's better than Giannis.
You don't. I'm not even. We're not even making that comparison. I'm leaving where you picked it up. I'm leaving it at right there. We're putting it right back down. Well, all I'm saying is for us to act like Giannis doesn't exist and he averaged 30, 11, and damn near 7 assists is insane. And here to your point too, if we were up here acting like Domantas Sabonis was trash, I would bring up his numbers as well because it's nothing to frown at. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like Giannis was dominant this year, as he was all the prior years, because he didn't play in the postseason where we're severely knocking him. And I'm just saying, like, I don't think we should do that.
You understand why, though, Ron? And the reason why we're in year 10. So all that other stuff, he's done that already. So because he's done all of that other stuff, what are we predicating Giannis on moving forward? Winning. Because everything else, I already been league MVP. I already been defensive player of the year. I've been an all-pro more than once, more than twice. I already been an all-star. I think he won an all-star game MVP. Now we're at a point with Giannis where your basketball life is now going to be dependent on how much you win. The fact that he hasn't won a playoff game in 2 years, the fact that he hasn't won a playoff game in 2 years, and this is the same dude who is considered to be at the top of the league. I can't consistently say that, this dude is the best player in the league when I'm saying that other guys haven't done the same thing, and I'm putting them at the top of the list too. No, I can't do that, Ron.
We didn't do this when your man Bron missed the playoffs. We didn't do that.
We didn't do that when Bron missed the playoffs in 22.
Yeah, we did, and you can go prior to that too. We didn't do that.
So for 1 year, James missed the playoffs in 19. Correct.
Yeah,
because he got hurt. Right. The very next year, he won an NBA championship. That's what happened the very next year. So
and then the next year he lost in round 1.
And the very next year he missed
the playoffs.
And the very next year he missed the playoffs. I don't think he was in the conversation at that point in 2022. If I'm being honest, I don't think he was in the conversation as the best player in the world. I didn't have him at that anymore. No, I didn't.
He not the best player in the world, but he was still top 3, top 5 in 2022.
Him being so in 2022,
Jokic had it yet. That was like the year where Jokic came in and was like, "All right, I am."
In 2022,
everyone was calling Jokic overrated in 2022.
Yeah, it was Giannis. It was
Giannis. I was on the show saying Jokic is 1A, 1B with Giannis, and I was being called crazy, and I was overrating him, and Luka's better than I remember. I go back and read the comments on those TikToks just to laugh.
KD was in that conversation as well during that time. I think Steph.
Yeah, but then he got swept by Boston. He got swept by Boston. So KD got swept by Boston, so he got eliminated from the talks. And then Steph had a horrible season, but then he won a chip, so then he got put in the talks. So the conversation ended up being Giannis, Steph, Luka went to the conference finals that year.
KD was still in that conversation too, Mars.
No, he got swept by Boston. They removed him. I remember the talks. KD was a fraud. I remember that. So Giannis, Steph, Luka.
So we're talking about at the end of the
back end of the top 5. Yeah, after the 22 season. Okay. Right when the 2022 season ended, Jokic had lost to the Warriors in round 1. He was an MVP who had lost to the Warriors in round 1. Luka had just gone to the conference finals. Steph had just won a chip. Giannis had just forced Boston to a game 7 when Chris Middleton was hurt. KD had just got swept, so KD's stock was trash. Steph's stock elevated. Luka's stock elevated. Jokic's stock went down. Giannis's stock stayed about where it was from the 21 season.
Joel Embiid, don't leave him out. He led the league in scoring, if I'm not mistaken.
2022 playoffs, is that the year they played Miami and they lost?
Yeah. He was in it.
He was in and around. He was in like the back end of the top 5.
I didn't think Jayson Tatum
was in like
he was getting there.
He was in like the top 10-ish conversation.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
But that's when he was getting put over KD for the first time.
Yes.
So yeah, the top 5 was some assortment of Giannis, Steph, Luka. Jokic was 4 or 5 for most people.
Right.
And then that 5th spot would be some people saying, hey, LeBron's still that guy, but Russell Westbrook's a terrorist. Then it was some people saying, man, KD just had a bad year. But yeah, those 4, and then like Embiid, KD, LeBron, Tatum were like battling for that 5th spot. That's what I remember 2022 being. But yeah. it was Giannis like unanimously number one around that time. Well, and Steph because he won Finals MVP, but it shouldn't have been Steph.
All right, fellas. I alluded to it earlier today, but I'm gonna allude to it again. The PCL NBA Debate League, which is a 7-week debate league with some of the best debaters for basketball on the planet, all in the same room. Here they go right here. Feast your eyes on the screen. It will be $1,000 cash prize. It will also be a nice belt that the winner will get, along with bragging rights and along with potentially the next biggest panelist on the panel for somebody who wins this. You can see the 4 groups right here with 16 contestants. Some say the group 1 is the best group. Some say group 4 is the worst group. Some say group 2 is overrated. Some say group 3 has a bum in it. This is just what I've heard on the streets. But the thing about it is everybody will play each person in their group one time to determine seeding, and then we will have a round of 16s, something like the NCAA Sweet 16 playoffs. And winner advances, loser got to go home to their mama. That's what it is right now. Tonight, we have 3 matchups. We have Jack Cody versus Dion to kick things off. Can't wait for that. That is going to be hilarious and extremely entertaining.
Hilarious.
Then we got Big Ox versus Casual. That should be a good debate. I can't wait to see the angles that they take on some of their topics. And last but not least, we got Elder Rufus and OG the Beast, and that's going to be extremely tactical. They're both older guys, so I can't wait to see some of the approaches that they make, how they use their historian takes, and just the high basketball IQ in that conversation in general. And in case you don't know, the PCL is not only on Wednesdays, it's also on Sundays as well. So on Sunday, these are some of the matchups that you'll be able to see as well. We'll kick it off with Mars and Pirate. That'll be a good old classic battle right there. Can't wait to see one of these guys who they're both of these two are the 2 top favorites in their group. Can't wait to see how this goes because the person who wins will more than likely, according to you guys, win the group. I got somebody else, but according to you guys. Then we got MTL and ZZ. And then last but not least, on Sunday at 7:30 p.m., we got Penn versus John D. So can't wait to see Sunday. Can't wait to see tonight. But you guys make sure to pull up tonight to see what's going on. Do you guys have predictions for tonight?
It's going to be entertaining. I know that.
I predict Jack and Dion is going to hurt my brain.
It's going to be good.
Sure. I think Ox gonna fall to 0-2. And then I think OG the Beast is gonna be Elder. That's my predictions.
That's the
0-2. 0-2 would imply that I lost last week.
Okay.
Did you lose last week, Ox?
No. No. Hell no. Hell no. Not at all. It was a close one. It was a good one, but no, I pulled that one out for sure. You know what though, Mars? I think we're going to be shocked by not me. I think that you're going to be shocked by the Dion Zach debate. I mean Jack. I keep calling him Zach. Jack versus Dion debate. I think that's going to be a lot better than we're giving him credit for. I think on top of that, I know for a fact that Jack trolls. Jack be up here trolling. I know
sure. For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely think he's gonna take this a lot more.
Ox, ho. Ox, he really believes that Jayson.
Nah.
He does. He believes that.
He is trolling.
He says it for the cameras. He says it for the cameras.
I think
he understands the business we're in. Content. He understands.
I think he believes that the Celtics are the best team that he's ever seen.
I think he's a fan.
That.
I think he's a fan of him. I think he likes Jayson Tatum a lot, but he's clearly trolling.
But hold on, how old is Jack? Do you guys think? Just speculate.
Like what,
early 20s?
23? 22?
I don't think he's older than 25.
Yo, so, and it's ridiculous, and I don't believe it, but I can see how he would think that the Celtics are the best team ever.
Oh, okay. No, that's a valid take.
Yeah, they were really that good. No,
that's a valid take.
It was insane. But the Celtics being the best team ever, he got an argument for that. Like this team was dominant in what they did, and just Yeah, bro. The Celtics was crazy this year.
Yeah.
I'm not. Hey, y'all know I did a lot of Celtics slandering this year. I will do a lot of Celtics slandering next year. But I can see how somebody can believe that this team can stand against any all-time team.
I agree.
But
how can you guys predict who's going to win when you guys don't even know the topics? Like, I'm just looking at the poll. Like, how can you?
Because the topics don't matter, Mars.
It does matter because it depends on the points you make is predicated on what topic you get. So the topics do matter. I can't predict. The reason I'm comfortable predicting is because I've seen the topics everyone has. But the chat don't know any of the topics that are going to be given. How can you predict who's going to win if they just get given maybe the worst topics of all time? That there's really no argument can really be made. Like,
you got to find an angle, and I think that's where I think they're voting based on the angles that they've seen these guys take. You know, I don't think you need another topic to know who's a good debater. As long as it's cool.
You can still lose even if you have the better points.
Or you could get lulled into a false sense of security where somebody will tell you that somebody ain't that good, only to find out that they are good, and you end up coming close to losing, like I did, listening to Mars.
I don't know what to tell. Like, I just feel like you just fell off. I feel like Ox would have handled his.
I did actually handle mine. He's a lot better than what you think he is. I'm still better than what you think I am.
Mm-hmm. Nah, you like Wizards. You like Wizards, Jordan. Like you still got game, but like we could just see it's just not what it was.
No,
chill. You still putting up a dub. You just not. I seen you average 37, man. I seen it. It's just
chill. In Mars' defense, it was a down July, according to the people.
Yeah, the people said, man, man.
And the Hayes thing didn't help. You struggling with South Sudan. That didn't help. Chill.
What's up with y'all?
Nah, it's a good thing your next debate is in August. So maybe August you're gonna lock in. You're gonna get back to your prime. But July was just a rough month allegedly.
I didn't know it was that bad. But all right, okay.
I mean, it's easier to see it from the outside looking in. When you're immersed in it, you don't realize you fell off. But the outside is like, you just know, your head used to be above the rim. Now you're doing rim grades. It's like you still dunking, but like, hey man, I remember where it used to be. So
he's saying it's time for that finger roll. That's crazy.
Yeah, you might have to just add some more touch to your game, some more finesse. So the athleticism is declining, so let's just get some more touch.
I ain't Air Jordan no more. I'm just Jordan.
Yeah, you got a mid-range game though. It's just how much can you rely on that and still be one of the best.
I ain't buying none of this. But okay.
Air Gervin if you get that finger roll.
Okay.
Chill Gervin got a Iceman chill. That got
Ice always had that. So it's not like Ice developed that when he started slowing down. No, he always had. He was doing that in year 3. So it's not like he got to year 8 or 9 or year 12 and he started slowing down. He had to put the finger roll in his game. No, he always was doing that. What are we talking about?
Ron, have you ran a poll at all on which one of these groups is the toughest group? Because I personally think Group 3 is. I think Group 3 clears, but.
So let me put this up one more time, and then I'm gonna run a poll. After this poll gets done, I'm pretty sure I haven't looked at it, but I'm pretty sure Pirate is beating Mars. I asked who's gonna win on Sunday, Mars or Pirate.
I just know that's not true, but I mean, I guess.
Do you know that for a fact, Mars?
Yes, I know. I mean, I might lose to Pirate on Sunday. I'm not saying I'm gonna win, but I just know this poll doesn't have me losing right now. I know.
Ah, okay.
But I could lose. I mean, I could lose to anyone. Am I going to? Probably not, but I could.
You are indeed right, Mars. You are watching Pirate in this poll. Pirate, I did this on purpose to give you some internal motivation. This one's for Ireland, Pirate. This one's for Ireland.
Man, I'm Irish too, man.
Brax, you never are allowed over my house to eat again, ever. I'm not saying that maybe to compare me to Jeremy Lin from the Hornets. You are never allowed over my house.
Respect Hornets, Jeremy Lin.
You are never allowed over my house.
That's a solid backup point guard.
Never.
Mars, he called him Orlando or Patrick Ewing.
That's what we call. You are never allowed over my house to eat again, ever.
I mean,
ever.
It still say Ewing on the jersey. So I mean, like
ever.
See, Chill. I thought he was showing you love. I thought he was saying like you got Magic and Ewing in your game. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was saying like you
No,
like
I
a
don't know what you're saying,
7-1
No.
Magic.
No.
It-
Man, that
no.
Ewing was wearing Bill Russell's number, so it was really like Ewing Russell. Like, if you think about it, like, come on, man, like that's not a bad player to be.
So, chat, these
I
are the
think they're
groups
group
right
fours.
here. Go vote on the poll right now. You can see
They
the
all
groups.
lost
Group
some.
1 is Jack, Cody, Chill, Dion from Ohio, and Hayes. Group
Mhm.
2 is Pirate, ZZ, Mars, and MTEL. Group 3 is OG the Beast, Elder Rufus, Casual, and Big Ox. Group 4 is Penn, Swiper, Gifted, and John D. Go vote on the poll who you think is the best group.
If we're being honest, it has to be Group 3 or Group 4. Group 1 and 2 are just not kind of comparatively. It's just Group 3 and Group 4 clear. I think Group 4 is the best group. But
So,
Group 3,
Mars, because like you said in Group 1, okay. So, what about Group 2? What throws a monkey wrench in Group 2? Like, what when you look at Group 2, what makes you guys go in the tank? Like, this makes us garbage.
everyone except me. It's just like if we're being
Oh my
like
God.
I seen Pirate against MTEL, like Pirate just not suited for a minute and a half format, man. Pirate needs to be able to formulate his points. He needs time. Like, you need to, because his points be so. There's only so much you can say in a minute and a half. Pirate's not made for short form debate format. This isn't Pirate's game. It's also not my game. I'm just versatile. ZZ is just, and then MTEL, like, he's just, like, I just feel like MTEL wasn't fully prepared for his topic. Like, there was angles he could have took that he didn't take. I don't know if it was he wasn't used to being on the camera. He didn't prepare. I don't know what it was, but
Mars, he a rook, Mars. He gotta.
Yeah, maybe, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like the format isn't Pirate specialty. ZZ is, and then MTEL is, like, we ain't seen him like that much. He got to be better prepared, I think, for the next time. So when he go against ZZ, whoever wins that one and how they both perform, that's going to determine how I feel about the group. But yeah, and then Group 1 is just Celtic Shaq with Killian Hayes, Johnny Davis, and some. Yeah, it's just. I'm Ben Simmons. Like, it's just bad.
Hold on, wait. Mars, I seen what you did there. Hold on, chill. Wait, time out. I see what Mars just did there, and it went over everybody's head but mine. He just called this man Killian Hayes. Hayes.
Nice one, Ron. You're a smart man. Ron a smart man.
Yo, Hayes. All right. Hey, don't worry.
But yeah, like, so Group 3 and Group 4 are objectively the toughest. I think Group 4 would be the tougher group. I feel like John D is going to get snubbed because he's not a panelist. Because I feel like John D, he gonna surprise some people. And then Gifted, Penn, and Swiper, they all know what they're talking about in some capacity. Group 3 has, like, guys who I think have more respect, but I wouldn't worry about them.
Mars, you calling that Japanese group better than the ball knowing?
I think it's tougher to win that group. Yeah, I think it's tougher to win that group.
Japanese.
I think it would be I think it would be tougher to win Group 4 than it would be to win Group 3, personally. But we'll see. Maybe it's because they're just closer in from top to bottom. They're closer, so it'll be tougher to win. Whereas Group 3, I think there's a clear hierarchy. But
Mars called me Shaq. Mars called me Boston Celtic Shaq. That's what he just called me. He called me Celtic Shaq. Damn.
I ain't put names on anything.
Okay, so in that group, Boston Celtic Shaq is clearly the oldest. That would be me. So
I didn't know you was the oldest. I didn't know that.
Oh my god!
I was meant to just know that. I don't know that.
I
don't know how old. I don't know how Dion, Jack, and Hayes are. I don't know.
They're younger than me. I'm
I mean, if you say so, I mean, that's coincidence.
I will say this about that team though. I know they were all pretty much washed up, but I love seeing KG, Rashid, and Shaq on the same team.
Shaq wasn't that bad for the Celtics. If I'm
being honest, wasn't.
The limited minutes he played, I think he was actually pretty good.
Shaq was a hype for real.
Like he was definitely washed, but he wasn't horrible. Like, he wasn't a bad player.
No, he didn't suck. No, he didn't suck.
So there's nothing wrong with being sorry. Celtic Shaq is enough to win a group against Killian Hayes, Johnny Davis, and Ben Simmons.
I think they would have had a shot in the playoffs had he not torn his Achilles. I thought he would have. If he would have, he would have.
Shaq's solid, man.
I'm good.
All right, y'all be sure to tap into the PCO tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. I will see you there. But moving along, this might be the most controversial topic of the week. let me go ahead and put this on the screen so you guys can see what John Stockton had to say about LeBron James in his GOAT case. He said, "You are not climbing the mountain, the GOAT mountain, that is." He said, "You are taking a helicopter to the top." Essentially, it was a whole interview, and it actually happened a year ago. But let me give you guys some context on what happened. So John Stockton said LeBron took a helicopter to the top of the mountain rather than climbing it in that interview last year. Stockton has said LeBron's team tampering and switching hurts his GOAT case by controlling the players on the roster, being the GM, and moving to different teams. Stockton says he devalues the success and makes his championship. It basically just makes his championships cheap, and it waters down his case. He said specifically, "I don't know what it's like to sit in that front office and have things dictating to you like a plan. And it appears LeBron is. I don't know for sure that he is, but it appears so. I think it'd be maddening as a teammate to know that you can be expendable for one of his guys that he thinks he needs to play with. The iffiness it causes with the team, the iffiness it causes upstairs, I don't like it either. I'll bring up Michael Jordan. I'll bring up Michael Jordan here a little bit. We were similar. We were similar, in my opinion, with the Jazz. I like when guys just tighten their belts up and say, you know what? Let's go to work. We just got to get better. Play harder. We got to play smarter. How do we feel about these comments from John Stockton about a lot of people's GOAT, LeBron James?
This sounds like this sounds like the death row 25-year contract. That's what this sounds like to me, more than anything. Just stay where you at and just get better. And if the front office isn't doing their job in an adequate manner, so what? And just keep getting better. And once you reach that, wherever you are, if you can't get it done, that's just the end of it. I mean, John Stockton is the same dude. And I can't believe I'm sitting here talking negatively about John Stockton because I'm a big time John Stockton guy. But John Stockton is the same guy who I wonder if in 1989, in 1990, in 1991, in 1992, and in 1993, they lost in the first round 3 times in 5 years. I wonder if that crew would still be together today. I wonder if there would be trades made today. I wonder if you and Stockton, I wonder if you and Malone would still be together today. James stayed in Cleveland for 7 years. It's not like he was there for 1 year, 2 years. This is a guy who took control of his career. Why? Because winning is what matters. That's the same reason why we're not going to be talking about Damian Lillard in 10 years. The only reason why we talk about Gilbert Arenas the way we talk about him, because it's on a podcast. Nobody's going to really be talking about Gilbert Arenas like that off the strength that he didn't win. So if I need to take control of my career, which is what James did, because that Cleveland team for 7 years did as bad a job as they could, even though he didn't want to leave there, that's why he came back. It wasn't just because Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving was on the crew. These are 2 guys who, by the way, had these many playoff games, not playoff wins, these many playoff games underneath their belt. He comes back there to help them, show them how to win, and they actually win and fulfill what he actually was there to do originally. What he was there to do originally. And he played out his contract. This isn't a guy who's just jumping from team to team and going to the best situation. I am honoring my deal, which is what he did. So the same thing that you did, John Stockton, in Utah, which you honored your deal, you could have left, but that wasn't going on during that time. You could have very well left, and I'm 100% confident. Dominique Wilkins, knowing what he knows today, I don't think he would have stayed in Atlanta. Charles actually axed out of Philadelphia off the strength of the bad job that they were doing for him. When you're dealing with errors, I think you're dealing with different. When you're dealing with different errors, you're dealing with different philosophies. And I don't want to be long-winded, but I think it's interesting more than anything how that Utah Jazz team for those 5 years, how they would be viewed today if they stayed, would they have stayed together after the success or the lack of success that they had during that time?
I think it's important to point out, though, Chip, I don't think John Stockton's problem was him leaving at free agency as much as it's all the trades, all the moving around, all the legion, all of that. I think that's more so what John Stockton was talking about. Not so much him going to Miami and then going to LA and all that. I think it's more so the fact that how he said it has to be nerve-wracking as a teammate to know that if I don't do exactly how he wants things done, I'm going to be out of here for one of these guys that he thinks need to be put around him. I'm going to be moved for one of his friends. I'm going to be out of here. It's not so much that he left during free agency. Like, you have the right to do that. Also, I mean, we got to be honest about the fact that it's just a different time. You know what I'm saying? Different times that people are doing stuff now that, you know, back in the 80s and 90s would have been crazy, like to move around like that. So, but like I said, I think it's more so the just trading everybody. Like how the other day you were talking about 18 or 16 Bron, and how he had to deal with two different rosters. Like, 18. I mean, a lot of people would, a lot of people would say, well, he moved those rosters. You know what I mean? Like, we know Bron gets a hand in who goes where. So I think that's more so Stockton's issue instead of, you know, him moving around. And I to a certain extent, like, I feel like I think that's bogus too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Coaches coach, GMs GM, players to play, you know? And that's just how I look at it.
Morris.
I understand his perspective. Well, what I understand from it in terms of how I'm interpreting it. You see guys in your era or guys in following eras get drafted to a team or go to a team, and they go through the pitfalls and the struggles of, we couldn't get over this hump. We could, like, similar to like what Denver went through. Like, you see, we drafted Jokic in 14. We wait till he comes over. He comes from overseas in 15, 16. He's a rookie. We're not a good team. We're not winning. We end up getting Jamal Murray in the draft, and that's 2017. And that's going to be, we don't even know Jokic is our guy yet, but we move with those guys. We get Emmanuel Mudiay, someone who people don't remember. We have him as he's going to be our point guard, and we're not winning. And then we make the playoffs for the first time in 2019 after we draft Michael Porter Jr. with the 14th pick. And then we make the playoffs, but we lose in the second round to Portland. And then 2020 comes around and we're in the bubble, and then we make a conference finals run. It's like, oh, Denver's next up. But then we deal with injuries, and injuries are just part of the game and it's part of the sport. Jokic is now one of the best players in the league, but because Jamal Murray's hurt, we don't go anywhere in the playoffs and we lose to Phoenix. And then in 2022, Jamal Murray's hurt and MPJ's hurt, and then they end up losing in the first round. This is like a 4-year stretch where Jokic's been one of the best players in the world, and his team has gone nowhere. And in large part, it's not because of him. His team's been hurt and there's been things out of his control. Right. But Denver kept building it with him. Jokic never demanded guys to be traded that we know of. And Denver kept building. And then in 23, they finally got over the hump. Now, however you feel about their roads or whatever, I can understand a player like John Stockton or just players in general respecting that more than, I built with this team in Cleveland for 7 years. We ain't get anywhere. And not that I didn't try. I'm LeBron James. I tried. I did everything I could, but we couldn't get anywhere. And now I'm gonna just go team up with maybe the top 5 player on the planet, and then another top 15 player on the planet, and we're gonna win this ring. I can understand someone being like, I think the Denver ring is more valuable than what you're doing in Miami. Right. It's like, not to compare LeBron's moves to KD, so people don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But it's the same way people can understand that people don't view LeBron KD's ring as valuable as Dirk's. The process to get the ring is a thing that a lot of people value. I don't think it's crazy for John Stockton to say he puts less of a value on LeBron's rings than he does on, I don't know, Jordan's rings or Jokic's ring or Giannis's ring. I can understand someone being like, I value what Giannis built with Milwaukee and what Jokic built with Denver more than I value LeBron going to Miami in free agency and winning a couple. And then going back to Cleveland with Kyrie already there, and then bringing Kevin Love and winning one there, and then going to the Lakers and then winning when you get AD. I can understand someone being like, I value what they did more. Do I value that more? Not particularly, but you guys know I don't really care about rings when talking about individual players, so this doesn't bother me. But to act like it just comes out of nowhere is crazy, when I know the people saying it's crazy will dock KD for the same thing. You don't value KD's rings as much as you value someone who went through the grind. Right. So why is it now when it's LeBron, we can all acknowledge LeBron didn't go through the same grind to get a championship as Giannis did, as Jokic did, as anyone else you want to like those guys. He didn't go through the same grind.
Jordan.
Yeah, he didn't go through the Isaiah Thomas grind. Like, he didn't do those things. Right. So why is it crazy for someone to say they value LeBron's rings less? Not saying like you don't have to, but to act like you don't understand why he doesn't, it's crazy to me.
Now, I think where the divide is the idea of, like what you just mentioned, valuing the rings. Okay, I took control of my career more than guys in the past have done. And I'm sure that you guys today, knowing what you know today, you would have done things different considering how people look at you as non-winners and how people look at winners. Sure, KD might be looked at a little bit different because of the process that he took, but people still talk about KD as a winner. People still talk about Kawhi Leonard as a winner, even though he didn't go through the grind in Toronto. They still talk about him as a winner. And the idea that you have that kind of control over your career and you're able to get it done like he did, because super teams, quote unquote, they failed more than they've succeeded. That's not my opinion. That's a fact, especially when you're throwing crews together. We've seen the Lakers with Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant and Dwight Howard and Pau Gasol. That was a ridiculous failure. We saw the Nets with James Harden and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. That was a failure. We've seen plenty of these super teams that were put together. I still think that the Miami Heat, quote unquote, super team, I think that was a failure because the way that was put together, they were supposed to win not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. They were supposed to keep winning consistently, only they didn't. But the idea that he has to be worried, I mean, I have to be worried as a player, that's universal, Moss. And the reason why I say that's universal, because there's plenty of players, and I have this on good information, there's plenty of players who have guys who they can get up out of there. Not only that, I had to watch Michael Jordan say on camera that he wanted Jerry Krause out as the GM and Phil Jackson as the GM. He said that on camera. So, I mean, these guys have a lot more influence today than they did maybe 20 years ago, but we're not going to act like you guys didn't have any influence, where you guys did demand to be traded, where you guys did ask out, or you guys did go to different teams, because I'm 100% confident I saw Moses Malone jump on the Philadelphia 76ers and win the NBA championship. So I did see that.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Ron.
No, go ahead. Respond to that because I'm gonna ask a whole different question.
I once again, I agree. I'm not saying I agree with Stockton because, like I said, I don't care about this stuff anyway. But when it comes to how people value things, I do think it's common for people to value the roads just as much as the destination. Mm-hmm. The destination for Kevin Durant was a championship and the Finals MVP. The destination for LeBron in Miami and Cleveland and the Lakers was a championship and a Finals MVP. But people also would have respected KG more if he won a championship in Minnesota than the one he did in Boston. That's just objectively true. People would have respected it more. Now, was it borderline impossible to do? Yes. But we understand that when you go to a team that perhaps isn't anything before you, and then you're able to elevate them to that level, that gets respected more. Same reason why Dirk's ring is so respected, because we remember I've gone back and done research, but Chill will remember the narratives on Dirk before 2011 was he was a playoff choker, he was an underachiever, he doesn't get it done. But then when he did it, now Dirk is held in such high regard because he came to Dallas in what, 99, 98?
99.
He came to Dallas in 99, stayed there for 12 whole years, went through the ups and downs, got to the finals, won MVPs, failed some of the biggest failures in the playoffs, and at the end of the day, he overcame all of that, and then ends up with one of the most valuable rings ever. Like, we understand that people respect the journey just as much as the destination, if not more. And I think it's fair if someone says LeBron's journey for his championships isn't, I don't respect that as much as I respect Dirk or Giannis or Jokic, because at the end of the day, Miami was a super team, whether people like it or not. Mm-hmm. It was built to win championships, not 1, not 2, not whatever. Mm-hmm. And they lost the first year, and then they won back to back. And then the moment D Wade and Chris Bosh start declining, well, more so D Wade, LeBron leaves in free agency, which is his right. But then he goes to form what is meant to be another super team. Kevin Love was one of the 15 best players on the planet. Yep. Kyrie was one of the best young guards in the league. He went and built another super team to go win again. Yep. It just feels less organic to some people. I can understand where it's like you're just joining these teams that are ready made to go compete, whereas these guys are building these teams from the ground up to get it done. I'm going to respect that more than you not being able to do that. Now, people be like, well, he played in Cleveland for 7 years. Yeah, but if he would have won in 2009 or 2010, people undoubtedly would have respected that more than his ring in 2012. Like, that's not hard to understand, because I know the LeBron fans would have, if LeBron won in 2007, they would respect that ring more than they
Than
respect
any
his
of them.
Miami rings.
That's fair. True.
And that's objectively true. So for them to act like they don't understand where John Stockton's coming from, when they feel the same way, it's just LeBron was unable to do it, not because of him. I'm not blaming him.
Right.
But the only reason you're saying it doesn't matter now is because LeBron was unable to do it. But if LeBron did win that finals in 07, you guys would be praising that ring more than you praise any of his other rings. There's a reason 2016 holds more value to you guys, because you praise the journey. The fact that they came back from a 3-1 deficit against a 73-win team. You guys praise that more than you praise back-to-back championships in Miami. You know why? Because there was more adversity. We're not going to act like people don't understand that more adversity equals more praise. People do that all the time. But now all of a sudden someone says, hey, well, I don't think LeBron faced as much adversity in terms of team building and going through the ups and downs as other people. Like, now all of a sudden you don't understand that concept. But when it benefits LeBron, you understand it. Like, that's why I don't like it. It just feels disingenuous.
Which is a fair point, Mars. But can I also add in to counter your point that I mean, you need a lot to go right in order to win an NBA championship. As good as you are, and to counter your point about, you know, forming super teams. Well, this is the same Kyrie Irving who never been in the playoffs. Sure, I can appreciate the top 20 logic. This is the same Kevin Love who had never been in the playoffs, but he had missed 2 of the last 3 seasons with season-ending injuries. These are the same guys who that next year in 15, Kevin Love missed the entire playoffs. He got hurt, I think, in game 2 against Boston. He was out the rest of the playoffs, right? Not only him, I'm talking about Kyrie Irving, who ended up missing the finals because he cracked his knee. So you need a lot of stuff to go your way in order to win. It's not just getting on a crew or getting on a bomb squad or joining a bunch of players and it automatically means that we're going to win. We need a bunch of different things to go our way. And the fact that he was able to put himself in a position and have some fortune in order for this to work, I do think that I do hold that in some regard to make that work, as opposed to I'm just jumping on a crew and we just expect this thing to work, because that's not the way things are. Because if that was the case, then it would have worked in Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. It would have worked in Los Angeles with Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, Dwight Howard, and Pau Gasol. It would have continuously worked in Miami, and it would not have ended with those guys winning 4 straight championships instead of 2. You need a lot of fortune in order for you to continuously win, as opposed to just jumping on crews and it just working like that.
I agree.
All right. A lot of people don't really like what Stockton had to say. Some people agree, but it was fairly controversial.
Man, Ryan, after Stockton said that, I feel bad for anybody that has John Stockton topic in debates.
Yeah, you say anything about LeBron, it's just whatever. LeBron's polarizing, man. That's what it is.
He is. And Mars, and to end it, what I would like to see, if I could, because Ox brought up the point. I mean, we got cars that run on batteries, and that's it. They don't run on gas no more. So how come we don't have a time machine? Can we take that team from years ago, bring them into this era? This is a team. I want to make sure we remember, Mars. In I think in '89, that Jazz team, I think they finished 3rd in the West. I think they won the Midwest Division. They lose to a Golden State Warrior team. Mitch Richmond is a rookie with Chris Mullin. They don't even have Tim Hardaway yet. The next year, that Golden State Warriors team doesn't make the playoffs. They get smoked by them in the first round. The next year, they end up losing to Phoenix in the first round again. I think Stockton outplayed Kevin Johnson. He got busy against him. The next year, they end up losing in the second round. They end up in the West Finals in 92, and then they lose again in the first round in 93. If that's going on today with a team that's that high, and let's not even say today in 2024, Mars. Let's rewind the clock, Ox. Let's rewind the clock back to, let's say, 2015, 2016. If we got a team that's continuously finishing in the top 2, top 3 of the Western Conference, and they're barely getting out of the first round, do they stay together? I don't think they do. No. I don't think that they stay together. Absolutely not. So the idea that, you know, you're taking a helicopter to the top of the hill, what that suggests to me is you're cheating. Am I cheating the system? What exactly is the system? The system is me holding on to letting GMs dictate what my career is going to be. I don't think that's fair when I take my career into my own hands.
Once again, Chill, it's not so much him going places, it's him flipping whole rosters. It's him, obviously him making
Is he really
GMs do these
responsible for
trades.
that, or is that over exaggerated?
He might not be. I'm sure he doesn't make every trade.
That's
of course.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But shit, like there's a lot of influence on a lot of these trades.
100%.
I mean, he influences the front office to a magnitude that we have never seen, and I think that's more so what John Stockton is pointing out. I think that's fair for him to point that out. I would not want to be on LeBron James basketball team. No way. No way. That would be the last place I want to be. Is somewhere where I know for sure that when the trade deadline comes on, Braun is on the phone with the GM like, yo, I need him, or I'm leaving next chance I get. Draft my son or I'm out of here. Like I don't want to deal with that type of shit. Like that's crazy. I would never want to be on a team where I know that one of these players has so much influence over the general manager. Leaving when your contract is up, you can't say anything about that for anybody. We can be upset and be like, oh, you don't want to compete. Like with KD. I thought that was just a sucker move. Like you just don't want to compete, okay, but you got the right to go where you want. That's fine. Now the trades, all of that. I mean, what did Ticket say? 137, 140 trades or something like that? That's crazy. That's crazy. And that we cannot turn a blind eye to that. We know Braun is influenced. Even the guys that have played with him, they all admit it. They all know like who's running the show here. And I think John Stockton is 100% correct with that. If I missed it, I'm sorry, Ron. But I didn't hear you talking about him going from a different team after his contract was up. I don't think John Stockton has a problem with that. If he does, I missed that part of the article. But I think it's more so these trades. And we can't sit here and act like that's not a serious thing. We can't act like that's not going on.
I just feel like when I'm put in a position to take control of my career, why can't I do same thing like what Ray Allen talked about? Why can't I put myself in the best position to win? Because that's ultimately what this is going to be about. This is going to be about this is ultimately going to be about me winning. Sure, championships are valued different. I don't think that Mitch Richmond's championship in 2002 is the same as Richard Hamilton's championship in 2004. No, those two things are not the same because Richard Hamilton was a starter. Mitch Richmond was over. Gary Payton's 2006 NBA championship is not the same as Isaiah Thomas's in 89. Right, I get that part 100%. But when I'm in the prime of my career, what I'm going to be remembered for more than anything is I'm going to be remembered for winning. In the organization that I was in at that time, early on in my career, in the first 6-7 years, they did not put me in the position adequate enough to compete for an NBA championship consistently. I was doing most of the work while other teams had way more talent, it was just a different circumstance, and things didn't go my way. For a guy to take control of his career and put himself in a position to win, I can't fight that. And
keep me out of it though. Like you take control of your career. Don't take control of everybody else's career. Who the hell you supposed to be? You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to go somewhere to win, by all means, peace out, brother. But don't send me to Timbuktu because you feel like we're not adequate to win. That's not even your job. Stay out of the general manager's office.
Now remember, they are the ones who come to me though. Ox, don't think that I'm in there.
over 130 times.
A prime example would be Joker this year. Joker specifically requested who? He specifically did that. You think that's the first time he did that? That's not the first time he's done that.
I mean, yeah, but like this is
that's not the first time he's done that.
He asked for Russ this time. That's all we know about. But I'm not gonna
done that in the past too. But keep on. I'm sorry.
Right, I'm not gonna act like I think that the GMs are just calling Brian all the time. They might be. Either way, it's just like, bro. My whole point is this: that what John Stockton was saying is it has to be nerve-wracking to be his teammate, and I wouldn't want to be in that position. I wouldn't want to be in that position because it's like, yo, you can take control of your career by all means, but don't be calling like, hey, you should trade him there. Like, I don't think that's fair, and I just don't think that's somebody that people would want to play with. Like that's just nerve-wracking. I can't even unpack my boxes because I'm not the level of basketball player LeBron James is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the level of basketball player that he wants. So now he's going to be making. He's taking control of my career. Take control of your own career, Brian. That's all I'm saying. So I 100% would agree with John Stockton. I think John Stockton spoke nothing but facts.
Yeah.
And it's also a difference in era too. Like
Sure.
if John Stockton maybe would have came in 2004, you know what I'm saying, instead of the 80s, I think John Stockton he might have a difference. Like, you know what, that's just how the game is going. Game is now. So that's all I think.
I just want there to be some transparency with this because, again, Ox, even though I do agree with you in the aspect that, you know, James has had some influence on front offices, and I won't argue that, but I mean, we've also had other stars who've done the same thing where they've also had influences on other stars. Charles Barkley said later on in his career, he said, I asked for Shaq. They got me them Charles Shackelford, right? I heard Kobe Bryant talk about getting Andrew Bynum up out of there. Quote, get his ass up out of here. So, I mean, I've seen this sort of thing, and that's not a one-time thing. That's something that's going on periodically throughout history when you're talking about star players. This isn't something that's just with this guy. It's just that we live in an information age. We live in a social media age. So things I feel like are more on Front Street than they were back then, even though I'm sure that stuff was going on back then. I'm certain.
It's every season with Bron. It's every single season with Bron.
Yep.
Thinking about it though, I'm just like, it took Chill to just say what Kobe said about Andrew Bynum for me to kind of now put my shoes in LeBron's, or my feet in LeBron's shoes. Be like, yo, if a teammate's not performing up to par, you're gonna you're a competitor. You don't want to lose. You're like, yo, can we get somebody in here that's better? My thing is, like, I look at my everyday life. If my car is raggedy and I can only drive 5 miles down the street, I can't even get on the freeway, I want to upgrade my car so I can at least.
But it's the human aspect that I think is missing. Like, these aren't cars. These are people. Like, these are people who have kids, who have like you're not just you're just playing on a different team. No, I'm moving from Cleveland to Portland. Like, I'm going across the country. I got my family. Like that.
Every season.
That's why I empathize with what John Stockton's saying. Like, as a teammate, like, this isn't about just like, I'm not playing for my legacy here. Like, let's be honest. Not LeBron and KD and Steph's, like, they're the only guys we talk about, and they're the only guys whose legacy really matters. Yep. These other guys, this is their job, and we're now just moving them like they're pieces on a chessboard. When these are human beings who their lives are being uprooted for the benefit of LeBron James' legacy or for the benefit of Kobe's legacy. Like, I can understand. No, I can understand someone being like, I don't want to play for that. That's having to worry about now my kid's gonna have to move school again because I'm playing on this guy's team. Yeah. Like, that's the part that I think Ox is alluding to and John Stockton's talking about. Like, I don't respect that. I like speaking for John Stockton, not myself. I don't respect that. That as a player, as someone who understands what my teammates go through, like, it's easy when you're a superstar. You know you're not getting traded. You know I'm on the Lakers. I'm staying on the Lakers. I'm gonna live in LA. My kids are gonna be in LA. But when you're Malik Beasley, it's like, damn, every year I got to move now. My family, my wife, my kids. I don't know if he actually has wife and kids, but you get my point. Like, that's the human aspect that is what's being missed.
Right.
So it's not like getting a new car. The car don't feel anything. Oh, they're sending you to the scrapyard. Oh no, some metal's getting squashed. These are human beings. That's why I think it's different. These athletes are people. It's not just, they're now playing from the Celtics to the Clippers. No, yeah. I'm moving from Boston to LA. I'm moving to a different climate with family, and like, that's why I think it's being ignored, and I think we forget about that when it comes to
athletes. But that goes back to, well, first of all, I mean, I feel like that could happen with anybody. I mean, Jim Jackson played 16 years in the NBA, played for 8 teams, so I could get shipped to whomever, whenever, because that's just part of the business of the NBA. But when you're talking about being on a crew where, you know, again, winning is going to be a part of my legacy. That's why he only signed 2-year deals. That's why he signed a deal where I haven't, if things aren't going the way I think they should be going, because again, this is my career. I'm taking control of my career. I don't want to be here. I will play out my existing contract. And not only will I play out my existing contract, I will perform. It's not that I'm coming in here dogging it. No, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to get us to where we need to be, which would explain why the Cavs were in the NBA Finals, which would explain why the Lakers were in the NBA Championship and they were in the Western Conference Championship. It's not like I'm dogging it. I'm going to play as hard as I can and give you maximum effort. But I feel like at the end, if this isn't going the way I think it should be going, I should have that right. That's why Oscar Robertson did what he did and fought for free agency and things like that, because I got to take control of my career.
Yeah, I think the difference is they're fighting for the choice in their career. It feels like John Stockton's perspective, once again, not mine.
Mhm.
It feels like LeBron is taking control of other people's careers, like with the trades and stuff. That's the difference. Oscar Robertson fighting for free agency for himself and for other players is for people to make decisions for themselves.
Sure.
LeBron seems to be making decisions for other people by packing them up and sending them elsewhere. From John Stockton's perspective, once again, I have to keep saying that before people start saying I'm accusing LeBron of this. I'm just saying, I can understand that's how John Stockton feels about it. That's, I guess, the difference between controlling yourself and what you can control versus controlling other people's career. Like maybe that's just should be left to the GMs. I don't know.
And once again, I'm very well aware of the fact that you're going to get moved around, especially if you're not a franchise guy. You can be a journeyman. I know that, but I think we're saying that and ignoring the fact that that's me getting traded from Atlanta. Then a couple years later, I'm traded to Chicago, and then I might get traded during warmups to Dallas. That's this GM, this GM, and this GM. That's 3 different franchises that traded me. I'm talking about one man in different franchises trading multiple people every single season. So this isn't the same person that's getting treated like a journeyman. This dude is journeyman in the whole NBA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I go here, okay, you're out here, you're out here, you're out here. You know what I'm saying? Now I go here, now you're out here, you're out here. Next year, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. Like that's completely different from what you're talking about, Chill, and what they're talking about in the chat. Yeah, if I'm one person and I'm a journeyman, that's cool. That's different than one person trading everybody every season. Like that's just not the same thing at all. And I think we try to throw that in there like, oh, that's a part of the league, that's part of the NBA. Yeah, it is a part of the NBA to get traded, but it's not a part of the NBA for your teammate to be your GM. Well, it is now.
I mean, when you got motion, you got motion. My thing about it too is like this is what y'all look. If this is what you signed up to do, if you want to be an NBA player, be ready to get moved any day of the season, including Bron. Like this is what you signed up to be.
I think you're purposely missing the point, though, Ron. I'm
not.
Including Bron, because Bron got to be prepared to move mid-season.
You are an NBA player. You get paid to be an NBA player. You get paid to one day you might have to walk into your house and tell your kids the unfortunate story or the fortunate story, because sometimes people get traded to better destinations too. It's 2 sides to the coin. Mm-hmm. Somebody might have to get moved from LA to Charlotte, but then again, somebody's going from Charlotte to LA. Some people are getting upgraded and some people are getting downgraded.
Yeah, now he's in Miami.
Right.
Some people prefer Charlotte. Ron, I think you're saying that again, and like we understand that that's the obvious part of the NBA. That's not for debate. Like, that's cool, but that's not the same thing at all, anywhere near what's really going on. So we're using this example of you're in the NBA, you might be a journeyman, you might have to move every other year. That's acceptable.
So what about Danny Ainge?
That's hate on Danny Ainge. If Danny Ainge is a general manager,
you already know how I feel about
we're talking about the human aspect, Danny. Don't sign these.
I'm not talking about the human. That's not what I said.
Stop signing these guys and trading them.
That's not what I said at all. So don't use. That's not what I'm.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not debating what you're saying. You're talking about.
Yes, but is Danny Ainge a basketball player or a GM?
Both.
He's the GM.
He was a basketball player too.
Is he a GM or is he a basketball player?
He's a GM.
Okay, GM's GM.
It's still a human aspect, though. It's still a human aspect.
Okay, but that's not. Just like all y'all said. Just like y'all said, that's the business. That's the business. The business isn't one player deciding every year I'm trading 5 guys. Every single year. LeBron James has made more trades than Danny Ainge in the past 10 years.
Has he though?
Yes.
I think that's been over exaggerated. I do.
Yes, every single year, and it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as me understanding this is the business. I understand this is the business, and I could be warming up, and my coach could come be like, "Hey, he needs to holler at you," and the GM would be like, "Hey, you might as well go take that warm up off, bro. You're out of here." Now I understand that that's a part of the game,
right?
But it's different when I'm a journeyman and I'm moving around team to team. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as one player just trading everybody every time. He's not trading the same person. It's different people. every time, just coming through like a wash cycle. And so I think that's the thing that's the main thing John Stockton was talking about, and that's just the main point I'm trying to stick to. I'm just trying to stick to that main point that it has to be nerve-wracking as a teammate. No, I'm with LeBron, so I might as well not get comfortable. You know what I mean?
It gotta be nerve-wracking to make $1 million and play in the NBA and have to worry about when you're gonna get traded from
Ron.
LeBron.
No, that's not the Ron.
Hold on,
the fact
let me finish making my point though. I get it. I get what you guys are saying. I get the human aspect. But that's part of the game. This is what you said. If not, go play overseas then. You know you're going to be able to play the duration of your contract. But you know what's crazy when you play overseas? They might cut your ass midseason if you're not performing. So it might be worse than getting traded. You might get cut and be without a job. My thing is, like, that's just a part of the game. If you don't want to be a journeyman, step your game up then.
Well, Ron, you're one of those people that think that money cures everything. You're one of those people that think money cures everything, and that's just not how life works.
It might not be. But then if money don't cure everything, then don't play then. I don't know what you like. Here's my thing. Like, if you don't want to get traded, step your game up like D-Lo, and you'll still be on the team next year.
No, that's not why you don't get traded, Ron. I mean, there's
D-Lo didn't get traded.
Well, D-Lo didn't get traded because
he stayed on the team.
It wasn't just because he played better. There might have been teams that didn't like the money. It might have been teams that he just didn't fit with. That's not the problem.
I just seen an MLB trade deadline. Over 50 people got shipped around. Minor league prospects that we don't even know about got shipped from Tacoma, Washington to the middle of nowhere.
Syracuse,
you know, so I'm saying, like, this happens in professional sports.
Yes,
like, okay, I get that Bron does it more, and I get that he has his thumb on all of this stuff, but it's the nature of the business. I don't feel sorry for these guys, because if not, go be an accountant. Go be a lawyer.
It's not about feeling sorry for him, Ross. It's not about feeling sorry for him. That's not what it is. I mean, at least for me, it's not about feeling sorry for him. Right. It's about the fact, like, your legacy is here because you stepped outside of this role. Once again, I think it's more so a difference in time, a difference in era, a difference in the way that people were brought up, a difference in player control. You know what I'm saying? I think that the players needed what they call it now, player empowerment. I think players needed some empowerment. I think it's gone across the line now. Right. I think they need to find some middle ground. They need balance. You know what I mean? But I think John Stockton is just kind of speaking from an old school way of thinking, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. While at the same time, these new guys that are coming into the NBA, I think they're 100% like, no, we should control it all because they're coming to watch us. You know, people that forget that there would be no NBA without the team owners. You know, people that forget that think that you know how it gets when the employees want to run the whole thing, and I think it's going a little too far that way. I think they could find a more of a middle ground where players play with still though having control of their career, where they can't be forced to do things. You know what I mean? Right. But I do think it's wrong just to be able to call up and be like, hey, get this guy out of here. You know, especially if they're not an issue in the locker room, they're not. You know, they're not crazy. You know, just all the obvious things. You know, they're not drug addicts and shit like that. Like, I can't get with it.
I hate to say this too, but it's the truth of the matter. Some players in the NBA are pawns, like it or not. They are. Some people are pawns on the chessboard. We're moving you because we want to get this bishop over here or X, Y, and Z. That's just how it goes. And 100%. Like it or not, that's what it is. But also too, I do want to say, a lot of these dudes make a choice to consciously go sign in a location where Bron is. Nobody's telling these free agents to go sign with Bron, knowing his track record and his history. You see certain guys didn't do that this offseason. Klay Thompson said, no, I'm not going to play in
for more LA money too, by the way, Ron. Exactly. For more bread.
Klay made a conscious decision like, nah, I'm about to go control my own destiny. Bron's not going to control my destiny. Mm-hmm. You've seen, who else was it? Paul George, DeMar DeRozan. All of these guys were like, no, I'm not about to go play with Bron. So I'm saying some of these guys made the choice to go do that.
Has there been more free agents to come and play on the LeBron team or more trades to LeBron's teams?
So if you go back to when he was in Cleveland the first time, so they got Verjao in the draft. Let's see, Mo Williams was a free agent. He jumped on the crew. I think they got Delonte West as a free agent. I don't think he was traded there. I don't remember him playing anywhere else. When he was in Miami, I don't know if he was responsible for any of those trades because Pat Riley, don't forget, he wanted. There was a time when he wanted Spo gone, so Pat Riley was not trying to hear that. And I think that there were more free agent signings in Miami than there were trades because Wade, Bosh, and James, they took up all the money. So we basically had to get whatever we could get from whoever we can get it from. Once he started winning, and like when he went to Cleveland, when he went back to Cleveland, I think that's when we started seeing more trades than and I don't think he got everything he wanted because there was a time, I believe, when there was a Kevin Love, Paul George trade on the table, and it was Griffin who said, no, we ain't doing that. He passed on that. So in 18, like we talked about, Ox, when the roster got flipped that whole summer, that wasn't James's idea to trade Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was the one who wanted out. That wasn't James's idea. He wanted Kyrie Irving to stay, right? So, and I don't even think he wanted. I don't even think he wanted Isaiah Thomas, to be honest with you. It just didn't. It didn't even look like it was something that he wanted. But
my main thing too, Chill, is with all these trades and with the greatness of LeBron James, because he is great. We can't deny he is great on that basketball court still to this day. Sure. He is great, amazing. But for him to be that good and to make all these trades, I would think he had more than 4 rings. That's all I'm saying. I would think the brother would have about 7, 8 rings by now.
I do agree with that.
And this goes back, and Ron, this goes back to like players aren't enough. You need some fortune. You need some things to go your way. It can't just be because I got this dude, I got this dude, I got this dude. I need some things to go my way. Otherwise, it could look a lot different.
Well, Chill, you know what it really was? It was the good old karma that came back around and bit Bron in the ass. Hey, same thing to make you laugh, make you cry.
Facts.
Now he went and did that Miami thing, and lo and behold, years later, that whole thing came back around, and Kevin Durant did what he did, and that really took 2 rings off Bron's plate. Hey, I mean,
maybe
because I was gonna say, because I was just thinking about it, like, how does Bron not get more than 4 rings? It's like, okay, you got the Spurs. I'll give it to you. He had to fight. That was 3 rings that they took straight from LeBron. Really 2, like the first one doesn't, but they got 3 rings on LeBron's watch. Then Steph Curry came in. He got one.
Don't skip over, Ron. The collapse in 2011. Don't skip that.
Yeah. That one's on him.
Yeah, don't skip that. That was 100% on James.
So he let one slip. One slip.
They should have beat. They were up in the series. They should have beaten them.
Yeah. Well, that's just the finals. I mean, one could argue the Cavs should have been in the finals in 2009. And that's another chance they could have won.
Yes.
So
even with what he did, I thought Orlando was better, but they had a chance to win that series. Yes, they did.
Yes, he's had opportunities to get more than 4, but it's tough.
They had chances to win. They won in 12. They won in 13. And 14, I mean, that Spurs team, when Wade started breaking down, Bosh underperforming, James not being, I mean, that team all the way around, they just weren't, they weren't what they were 2 years ago. And then you go to 15 where you lose Kevin Love in the playoffs. Irv breaks down in the playoffs, in the finals. And then in 16, you end up winning. And then in 17, the Golden State Warriors get KD. And to be honest with you, I don't think anybody's beating them. Especially during that time, I don't think anybody was beating that Warriors team. And then in 18, the roster gets flipped again. So it's in 19, he gets hurt when he's with the Lakers. I'm not sure if they win the NBA championship that year, and then they win it again. It would have been. It would have definitely been good to see. Then in 20, they win the NBA championship. I think that they were on their way to winning it, even if COVID didn't happen. I said before the season started, I didn't know you guys then, but I had said it before the season started. I thought that when they got Anthony Davis, I'm thinking they're going to put James at the lead guard, and I think if he leads the league in scoring, he's going to win the MVP and they're going to win the NBA championship. I felt like he was on his way to doing that before COVID happened. Then in 21, Anthony Davis breaks down after being off for barely 6 weeks, and he's starting to get older. So it gets a lot trickier as time goes on. But I do admit they should have won more in Los Angeles than they've done. I do think that.
All right, y'all. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you become a Hall of Fame member. Make sure you subscribe. And last but definitely not least, make sure you have your ass right here on Player's Choice at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time to watch the PCL or NBA Debate League, which is the best debate league in the world with the best debaters in the world right here on this platform. I'll see you guys there later today. I got some super chats. And before I get to those, I do want to say that Serbia dog walked Puerto Rico.
Handled them
107 to 66.
I think
Jokic had 14 points. He didn't. He almost.
Oh, I seen someone sell his assist. Damn, that's crazy. Okay.
14 points, 16 rebounds, and 8 assists. Shout out to
he said he had 9 on the graphic. Okay, so they took one away from him. Oh, that's tough. Okay.
All right. On to these two. Oh, and be sure to tap into USA versus South Sudan. They play in about 50 minutes. No. An hour and 50 minutes. They play at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. So you guys be sure to tap into that game as well. Starry Key said Otani better, Dub Mars, Dub Ron.
Shout out to Otani.
He might be the modern day Babe Ruth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he might be the modern day Babe Ruth without the crashing cars and being in whole houses and stuff like that. Yeah, he might be that dude.
I mean, he's crashing. I don't know. Sites.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you know this, Mars and Ox, but yeah, if in Babe Ruth was a drunk, a ridiculous drunk. Not only was he a drunk, you could find at the trick spot. You could definitely find Babe Ruth there on a Tuesday night if you was looking for him. Find out where the trick spot is, and you could find Babe Ruth there. He was there on the regular.
Chill. Yes. So if you find him there on a Tuesday, he's almost guaranteed to be there on Friday, Saturday, and
100%. And not just in his city where he lived. He in your town too at the trick spot. Like soon as they pull up on the train or whatever, yo, where the hot spot at? He there. That's Babe Ruth.
He having fun. I mean,
yes.
straight degenerate.
Hey, chill. At least he handled his business on the field.
Oh, that's 100%. He was doing that. 100% he was doing that. So
shout out, Babe. And I don't think you guys understand how good Otani really is. Like,
he's awesome.
He is. Yeah, I can't even really put it in NBA terms because he's just ridiculous. Yes. But Upper Deck with the super chat. Upper Deck had to say, from the stats perspective, 2016 and 17, 19.1, 8 and 11.2, and Harden never got close to 10 assists again. When he began to average over 30 points and rebounds was around the same as well, to 5 to 6 in his peak. Free throw percentage saved his true shooting though.
Plus,
that's why I hate true shooting, Mars. That's why I hate it. It's true.
It wasn't just that. It was him shooting 13 threes at like 37%. That helps too. It's more than just his free throws, but I mean, free throws are points. They should count as efficiency. That's my opinion.
Why don't
they? Well, it does in true shooting. But I mean, field goal percentage and 3-point percentage, that doesn't include anything that doesn't. If we're measuring scoring efficiency, I think it makes sense to include all forms of scoring. So 2s, 3s, and free throws. That's the only ways you can score. They should all count towards a single scoring efficiency metric. If you want to get the most accurate depiction of scoring efficiency, it should include all of them. But I can understand people not liking true shooting because it favors free throws because it has a little weird coefficient because for technicals and stuff.
Weird coefficient.
Yeah, true shooting technically is an estimate. Like the stat itself is technically an estimate. But when you look at a player's like actual true shooting, like if you go through and like calculate James Harden's true shooting by hand without like measuring, without the free throw coefficient, you'll realize that the estimate and the number are practically the same thing. Like it really doesn't make a difference. Like, the estimate is extremely accurate. So for me, true shooting is the best scoring efficiency metric we have. Now, I think we can create better ones, but right now I think true shooting is by far the best way to go. So I use true shooting.
And real quick, Ron, just so you dudes know, and because I've seen a couple of guys in the chat talk, the trick spot is a multitude of things. It's not just one thing. My pops had me in the trick spot at 10 years old at the dice game, and there's other things going on in the other rooms. So I'm familiar with the trick spot. I
Chill,
do
you
know
was that kid in Harlem Nights?
I was.
That was you?
Yes, I was.
Shit, that was you?
I was in the trick spot.
I
Yes,
thought I was
in
seeing
there,
just an
yes.
actor. I didn't know that was a
No,
real.
He
I-
frequented those venues, man.
I was in there because my
Maybe
pops
need
had me in
shoes.
the, yeah, my pops had me in the trick spot at 10, 11 years old. Yes, he did. So
This
that's crazy.
motherfucker standing here, tripping in that scene, bro.
yeah,
I'm about to go watch that.
I
right
gotta
after
go
this.
watch that.
mhm. I'm
1K
gonna stick
David.
him. I'm gonna stick him. Nah, definitely stick this little janky looking mother standing here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best, man. That's the best.
Oh, you said you just gonna have to stick me because I ain't giving you shit.
Mm.
1K David has been a member for 11 months. He said, when you play good / better, you don't get traded midseason.
That's just not
That's
true.
That's
That is
cap.
so not
Play it-
true.
Have you not heard of the term increasing your trade value?
Yes, that's exactly why players get traded. In fact, because they
So that's
playing
just a
better.
lie. Yeah, that's just a lie.
It's a lot. It's actually easier to trade you when you're playing pretty good.
Yeah, so that was just a blatant lie. But well,
1K David, I get what you're saying, and I stand with you. Play better, and you won't get your ass traded.
it's so true.
Davion Bohannon said, "Chill. Why is Chet not one of those not on those guys' level on defense after what you saw in only his rookie season?"
Why is he not on their level after his rookie season? I just don't think that he's the rim protector. I don't think first of all, he's not the rebounder, not the rim protector. I do think that I think he's a great rim protector, but the rebounder and the paint presence today as Evan Mobley, I think Evan Mobley is better. I think he's a better perimeter defender than Chet. I still think Chet's got some work to do as a low post defender. I still think he's weak there. I think guys like Bam, I think guys like Evan Mobley, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis, I think those guys are a lot better. So I don't think he's there yet. I do think I do think that he'll be an elite defender at some point, though. I do think that.
All right, Mo with the super chat. He said, "Who's a more Glazer? Who's a more Glazer? Me with Harden or Dion and Chill with LeBron?"
I'll definitely
You
let
have to stop putting Dion and Chill together.
please.
Dion is so much worse than Chill. Like, I don't even consider Chill a Glazer at this point. Dion is a Glazer, and he's the second biggest Glazer I've ever met of anyone ever.
Who's first?
Jack.
So it's Jack.
So you got
Dion,
Jack
and
over
Mo.
Dion. That's right. You do this right.
Yeah, because at least Dion's glazing someone who could be the GOAT. Jack is saying someone like Jayson Tatum is the GOAT and saying some outlandish things about someone who's not on that level. So I think that's worse glaze because at least LeBron, I'm not going to say LeBron glaze is justified, but what Dion says about LeBron is slightly more justified than what Jack says about him.
He's getting there early. He's getting in on the stock early. That's all.
No, he's not. He sees Kobe, he sees Jordan, he sees Bron, he sees Magic, all of these guys in one. Scottie Pippen on defense. I mean,
I don't understand why Mo wants to be a Glazer so bad. Like if you see him in the chat, he's really been putting on thick these last week or so.
He's been saying Kawhi and Harden's a top 5 duo. I don't know if he says ever or just in the league right now, but he been
Maybe in
that.
2017. In 2017, if they would have got together, okay, I could get which.
That would have been insane, yo.
But yeah, he's been saying that recently in the comments after the video. So he's just
Hey, Kawhi, that duo would have made me like Harden. Because Kawhi just would have been able to cover up for some of the things that James Harden, lacked. I'm not saying that he could guard James Harden's man, but Kawhi was such a force on defense at that moment in time. I'd have been able to overlook some of the things that Harden does. And then obviously Harden would have just been ridiculous on offense. And Kawhi alongside that would have been.
In 17, I was really just coming around to I'm tired of James because I used to be a really big James Harden fan back when he was at Arizona State and when he was
the moment D'Antoni arrives. How coincidental.
That's what I'm saying. D'Antoni be ruining these guys. D'Antoni be ruining these guys. Like, I think I could have stuck it out if he would have been with Kawhi.
Chill. You know what is actually funny though about the whole Dion and Jack thing? The two guys that they glaze are two guys that you really, really love and are high on.
I am.
Like if it wasn't for Dion or Jack, you would literally be called the predominant Bron Glazer and then the predominant Tatum Glazer. As a matter of fact, you were the predominant Tatum Glazer until Jack came around, and it was like,
first and foremost, let's remove the word glaze. Let's take that. All right,
we can take glaze out of there.
Let's take the word glaze out because
I'm
not the ridiculous dude who thinks that my girl is the best looking girl on the planet. No, I think my chick is fly, and I'll defend my chick. I ain't out here going, my chick, the baddest chick on the planet. Ain't no chick out here better looking than my chick. My chick do this, and this better than every other chick.
But you do feel that way about Bron, though, for the most part.
I do feel that way about James.
But it's justified with Bron. It is justified.
I do feel that, right. I do feel that way about James. Jayson Tatum, on the other hand, I don't. In fact, I'm actually on record saying I'm not sure that he'll ever be the best player in the league. I do think that he can consistently be a top 5 player in the league. I'm on record saying that. On record. You never heard me, and I don't think you'll ever hear me say he's the best basketball player that I have ever seen. Yikes. I'm not going that far. Let's chill out on that. But I am a big-time Jayson Tatum fan. Yes, I am. And I can be objective when it comes to him. And I can be objective when it comes to James.
My man Dorian Clayton, y'all know the name. Y'all know he's a Hall of Famer. Y'all know he's in the GOAT tier when it comes to Players' Choice members and subscribers and chatters and all of that good stuff. He just sent through a super chat. He's been not just a member for 21 months. He's been a Hall of Famer for 21 months. He said, Chill's not a Glazer. Chill has proper respect and ratings for LeBron. Dion is a universal level Glazer. Ron, make a graphic. Dion versus Jack, the battle of Glazers. Dub show, dub chat, dub panelists, Ron, A- hosts. This shows you are getting B- hosts. This shows you are getting better.
He's an F host just for cutting off Ox at the start for that ad. F host just for that. That was crazy.
Ox was going into his
Ox was about to start cooking on Wemby, and then Ron just cut him off so disrespectfully.
He only does that to me. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
crazy. That's your man too, Ox. On top of that, this is your man. If I'm not mistaken.
I'm sorry, Ox. Do you forgive me?
No,
I'm not gonna say what I wanted to say.
How about no, Ox? Just no.
I can't just say no. I got more to say than that shit.
So should we call that the battle of Glazers?
No, don't disrespect these grown men like that.
Wait, Ox, have you seen the topics they gave them?
Yeah, yes. And I knew
the Glaze battle. I mean,
I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, but y'all can't say that's not an all-star topic list, though. For those,
you gave them the topics I expected to be given to them. I commend you guys for that topic. Like that is the Glaze battle. That is the Glaze battle. That's 1,000%.
No, that's how you lean into content creation. Like I'm proud of you. Like good job.
You guys got the topics right on that one. You guys got the topics right.
Let these dudes in.
I'm more and more as I do this, I'm starting to learn more and more about content creation, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I see what's going on here. Let's get down.
Remember, like it ain't just us four here. There's people, and then forget this to chat. There's people watching us, and there's people listening to us, and we got to get the people what they want, and people want to hear that. People want to talk about James. As much as I don't like talking about James as much, people want to hear about James, so we have to do it.
Yeah, it's show business.
Yes,
this is going to be a great. But like I said though earlier, I think this is actually going to be a good debate. I'm not as low on these guys as some people are. I really think I'm 100% feel like Jack just trolls the world. I think he does it on TikTok. I think he does it here, and there's nothing wrong with that. Keep it up, Jack. Dion, I think it's a little less troll. I think Dion is 100% sold with it, but that's fine. This is gonna be a good debate, y'all. Like, don't sleep on this. Y'all tap in. Don't show up late. Get there early. Get your seats. Get your popcorn. It's going down. It's going down. And I got Jack. Like just like Mo said, I'm agreeing with Mo right now. I got Jack.
Yeah, I just can't wait to send this belt to Dion when it's all said and done.
Okay.
I really can't. I can't wait to do that.
If
Victor.
Dion was the PCL, bro, I swear to God, bro, I swear to God.
I mean, for
bro.
what it's worth, you're gonna donate that $1,000 to LeBron's school. So I mean,
That's
100% he's doing that, Mars.
it goes to
Yes,
a good
he is.
cause. So
Hey,
I
he-
mean,
Marty gonna buy a jersey first.
yeah,
Well,
buy
you know
jersey
what?
and then donate
If he-
the rest.
if
And
he
probably some
does
shoes
that-
too. Some
If
LeBron.
he does that, then he's just a good dude. You know, he's just a good hearted
So it
dude.
goes to a
I
good
can't-
cause because I
you know
can
what I'm
promise
saying?
I ain't giving that money to anyone but myself. So I mean, shout out
Dub
to Dion, man. Just giving the money to a
Dub
good cause.
selfishness. Dub
Yeah,
self-
Mars, we
Thank you.
can't get no lunch.
Dub self-preservation.
DoorDash me some fish and chips.
You can go make yourself a sandwich.
That's crazy. Peanut butter and jelly. That's wild. All right.
Food,
Hey,
what-
Hey, and
Food
why
in the
you at
refrigerator.
it? Why you at it? Fix me one of them too.
Yes, food in the refrigerator. Go ahead, Joe. Knock yourself out.
Jay
Oh,
Got Game said taxing players for their physical gifts on defense is kind of crazy.
Wait, Jay got game. That's not what happened. It's the fact that I'm not taxing him for his physical gifts. I'm taxing him for relying strictly on his physical gifts because there are things that you got to do on defense. You guys, it's better to play good defense, move your feet, cut players off, get in front of them than it is to rely on straight block shots, especially at this level of basketball. Now, Wemby's at less risk to get dunked on and stuff like that because of his physical gifts. But when you do those type of things, you put yourself and your teammates in vulnerable positions.
Facts.
Hey, speaking of which, Mars, I had some good ass fish and chips yesterday here in Seattle. I don't know if you heard of the great Ivers, but boy, I'm telling
You
you,
can't
that
tell
changed our
Mars
perspective
nothing
with
about
fish and
food in
chips.
Seattle. Mars is out. Anything you say to Mars about food in Seattle, it goes in one end, out the other. He ain't trying to hear none of that.
Yeah, let me stop, Mars. I'll just
Yeah, he needs to stop
I'll
trying to
leave it alone.
advertise Seattle. That might be the worst place on the planet.
Well, we'll
It's
see.
just terrible.
We'll see if you like the food in the next place that we do PC weekend at. And if you do, hopefully that changes your perspective on food here in America. If you don't, I think it might be a lost cause. I think we might be.
Mars. This time, it is my personal goal. I take it upon my responsibility to find you some amazing food. I got you. See, last time I thought Ron was gonna hold you down. I got you. Don't trip.
Yeah,
I
I got
see.
you too, Mars.
So that this time, if it's trash, that means I put it on Ox this time. Okay, I see.
Either way it goes, we all gonna be together, so you'll get a healthy combination of word salad, word burritos, word tacos, word pasta. So you'll be all right. You're gonna eat good one way or another.
Is Damo coming?
If you want
Save
word
some
burritos,
food for me. What are we talking about?
Oh, fuck, Mars.
Yo, that stole with the super chat says so. Braun wasn't great in 2010 because he wasn't the best player yet. OG, that logic doesn't make sense. Wemby is a great defender with his flaws, and that's scary.
That's some of the worst. That logic doesn't make sense. Was Braun in year 2 in 2010? What the hell?
What was it, year 7, year 6?
Yes, he was at his prime. What are you talking about? Those two things don't make sense. No. And I've already revised my stance. I don't think he's going to be I don't think he's as great as he's going to be. I still think he's got flaws, which is as good as he is, I think he can be even better.
Neo Weeb said, in y'all opinion, do you think players like Mark Price, Nick Van Exel, and Kevin Johnson's games translate better to the current NBA?
Mark Price for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nick Van Exel too. Yeah.
That's De'Aaron Fox up in Seattle.
And the moment they start sending him right,
You can't. You go whatever way you want, Mars.
Mars, I can say the same thing about.
we'll see.
We can say the same thing about James Harden, Mars. James
Nah,
Harden's is not that good. Is not that good. He's
No,
very-
but you could
very
Nick Van
left-handed.
Exel might be the most one-handed guard I've ever seen.
No.
But when you're that fast, and he might have went left, but he could definitely dribble with his right hand. So when you're
Right.
that fast, you put in
Yeah,
your
but
right
you
hand.
just know you're coming. You just know you're coming back to his left hand.
Yeah, but you know that, but it's just like
Ginobili
I
too.
can lead you right and he can still go. So when you start playing him straight up, and it's just right back left. Like you can't when you're that fast and that skill, it's just you can't do nothing. He had a quick pull up too. So you know what I'm saying? Oh, Nick Van Exel was so nasty.
Yes, he
I
was.
mean,
yo.
Nick the quick for a reason. I'm not saying he'll be trash. I'm just saying I
Right.
think he was. I think he was
It
fine. I
wasn't-
think
it was
Mark Price. I think would be better in today's game. I think Nick Van Exel was probably he's just as good as in this game as he would be in his old game. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he gets better. I think he's
No
just the
doubt.
same guy.
Who was
What
it?
about
Who was
Kevin
it on
Johnson?
it? That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, what about Kevin? What about KJ?
Yeah.
That lack of a jump shot is concerning. But
I don't know, Mars. Now, wait. Whoa. Now, lack of a jump shot or lack of a long ball? because he could.
3
He had a
points
good.
short.
Okay, because he could rock in the mid range, and he could get downhill with the best of them. He could get downhill with the best of them and finish at the rim with the best of guards. He was dunking on big guys.
He was.
And he could pass. So now with the game being as wide open as it is, he could get to different spots. Now the long ball might be a little bit tricky because Kevin Johnson was not good at the long ball line. No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
Man, it don't matter. That is a Sacramento high school legend, a real dragon, bleeding purple. He could do anything he wanted to do in any era.
I don't know if there's a guard that small who can get away with not being able to shoot. But maybe.
At the long ball line, to stretch the defense.
Yes, he's too small. Like, if you like 6'3", 6'4", even then it's shaky. 6 foot, 6'1"?
He was 6'2", I think.
I don't know, maybe.
But I think we asking, are we asking these guys to come into this era? Okay, so Mark Price, who already was stretching the defense, could play pick and roll, could play pick and pop. Are we saying that Mark Price only stays? Okay, so that's 90. Are we bringing 93 Mark Price into the NBA and he's staying 93 Mark Price?
That's how I interpreted it.
And the reason why I'm saying that, Ma, is because I'm thinking about the adjustment to the game. And I'm thinking about what I already know how to do and me seeing something different that I can put in my game. So it's not like it's something astronomical where I got to step back and shoot from 28 feet. Okay, well, I can already shoot at the long ball line. I can already handle the ball, right? I can already stop and pop in transition. I can already distribute. But now the other stuff that's going on, because the game is even wider, I can pass more efficiently, right? I'm already money at the strike. My mid-range game could get better because I'm going to get different shots because the game is more wide open. So that's what I think in terms of adjustment. I'm not thinking that I'm just going to stay the same player and I'm not going to adjust to the game at all.
I just interpreted it as guys who were ahead of their time. And I think Mark Price was ahead of his time. That's Steve Nash before Steve Nash, in my opinion. So that's how I interpret it. Guys who were ahead of their time and how their game is better suited for the generations after them. Same reason I think KG was ahead of his time. But in terms of guys who can adjust, yeah, I think most great players, I think, feasibly could adjust. I think it's unreasonable to say they couldn't. But it's beauty, man. We'll never know. But I viewed it as a guys ahead of their time. So that's why I guess I was higher on Mark Price.
Moving along, context clues said off topic, but shout out to Team USA gymnastics, women and men, the women rugby, and the women and men swimming for winning yesterday.
What's the chick's name? Iona Hamas, I think that's her name. She is awesome. Man, she is awesome. In rugby. I mean, they won yesterday on virtually a buzzer beater. So if you can imagine in football, like we down at the 1 yard line on the other end of the field, and we have to score a touchdown in order to win. And they ended up, she broke, not her, but one of her girls broke a tackle and ran all the way down to the end and scored for the U.S. to actually win a gold medal. Not a gold medal, to win a medal. And it's the first time, this is the first time they ever did that, Ox. Never happened before.
First time. I didn't
even know Americans played rugby. So.
Oh yeah, Americans play rugby for sure.
Yeah, I know that. So.
There's a lot of like pro leagues out here too. Like a couple of my boys that I went to high school with, they're still playing rugby and stuff, and they're like traveling all that. They're getting busy, they playing international tournaments and everything. They're really doing that rugby thing. I got the medal count right here, Ron.
I'm about to pull it up. You can read it though, but I'm about to pull it up so people can see it. Go ahead, you got it.
Yeah. So, Ron, everybody knows I am the L host.
Oh, Great Britain in third.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So it got USA won with 28 total. France got 22 total. Great Britain got 17 total. China at fourth with 16 total, and then Australia with 14 total.
I didn't know that Great Britain had
this don't matter. Like, who cares who got the most total medals? Who's got the most gold medals? That's what matters.
Right.
I did not know.
They should do it like on like
Australia,
like a number scale, like golds are worth 3. You know,
yeah, because golds are worth more than bronze. Yeah, 3, 2, and 1. Probably.
Hold on, wait. Is it by total medals or is it by who wins with gold medals?
It's by total, I believe.
It shouldn't be though. It might.
Yeah, I think they should definitely do
golds
like
are
the
inherently
ladies.
more valuable than a bronze.
Yeah, if they did golds 3, silvers 2, and bronze 1, and then scaled it out like that, I think it would be better.
So this is the gold list, as you guys can see. China is winning right now with 8. Australia and Japan are tied for second with 7. And France and Great Britain somehow, well, not France, but Great Britain somehow got 6. Shout out to them.
You know how loyal I am to the crown, man. Shout out to Great Britain, man. we just do this, man.
And then we got 12 silvers and 12 bronze.
You guys great at being second best.
What we lead. Yeah, we lead.
You guys great at being nearly the best. You guys are great at that.
Y'all can see up here. USA leads with silvers and bronzes as well.
What athletes have the most golds?
Oh,
here we go. We can see right here. Shang Lihao has 2 golds.
We know what sport she does?
I
don't know.
Let's Google.
Did y'all see the lady that the lady from Egypt? She won fencing. She's 7 months pregnant.
Yeah,
that's not going on, Ox. Don't tell me that.
Shang Li Hao is a man.
7 months pregnant. Ox, stop playing with me.
No, she's 7 months pregnant. She got the whole big white suit on. She out there sticking folks.
He shoots. He's shooting, but it's not a
arching or shooting.
No,
arching?
he's shooting.
Like
air
like
rifle.
typing.
Air rifle.
Yeah.
So shout out to Shang Li Hao, man, the best air rifle shooter in the world.
She's pregnant.
Yeah, I'm saying though, like, first of all, I mean, well, you know, you got to do your thing, but I'm saying, like, when you're in training, maybe you should consider, you know, let's strap up for these months because I'm going to the Olympics this summer, you know. But you know, whatever else.
Unless you just beat the competition while you're pregnant.
That's what she said. She said on the panel, or not the podium. She was like, there isn't just because it was her and the second place person that was up there, and there was like, it's not just 2 athletes up here. It's actually me, her, and my little baby. It was like, oh, that's sweet, you know. She did her thing.
Shout out to Matthew Richards, the UK gold medalist for the men's 4x200 meter freestyle.
I do have I know we're not. This isn't a political show or nothing, but the Olympics. The Olympics is letting the boxing. I mean, the boxing with the Olympics, and they're letting some things slide in these Olympics. I'm just like, somebody's gonna get hurt out there.
It's gonna spark some controversy once you get to the gold medal fights. That's yeah.
Somebody's gonna get hurt. I'm just saying. They got to put a stop to this. The boxing is crazy. I mean, if we want to do the racing and all that, that's cool. But when it comes to combat sports, man, you gotta fight with your chromosomes, man. Fight with your chromosomes.
There's no reason why a chick and a dude should be in the ring in the Olympics. No.
And the combat sport is crazy.
No, nobody will say it. I'll say it. A chick and a dude should not be in the ring in the Olympics. No.
Ever. Ever. It's crazy.
No.
It's crazy.
No.
You should definitely, and when it comes to combat sports specifically, that's ridiculous.
We're at a time where somehow this is a controversial opinion.
Right? There's
Shout out to the world, man.
Think about that for a second, Mars. We're at a time where, like, there's some people go, wait a minute, are you sure about that? Yes.
How dare you say that?
What, are you kidding me? A dude and a chick should not be in the ring boxing. No.
Especially I think combat sport. Well, anyway, I think combat sports is where, if we're gonna draw a line, like, let's be real, there should be a line with combat sports. It's the same reason why I've said if people are going to allow PEDs in sports, combat sports is the one place where that probably shouldn't be allowed. But I think all combat sports should be regulated a lot tougher than most other sports, because
if one of these women breaks their face or, God forbid, dies in this ring, then what? I'm saying, then what are we gonna do?
Then we won't do it no more, Ox. But that's what it's got to take.
Fellas, back to the super chats. Ken D said, question for Mars. 16 Steph versus 22 Steph. Who's the better player?
What's happening?
I was gonna make a TikTok about this, but I couldn't be bothered to get Steph haters mad at me. 22 Steph is the worst year of Steph's prime by a significant margin.
When I said that, I'm ridiculous.
Like, the 15 Steph is better, 16 is better, 17, 18, 19, 21, 23, all were better than 22. I'm not listening to a 6-game series against Boston. It's not going to change my mind on how we played the whole year. everyone, like when the revisionist history and the winning bias behind what was happening, people thought Steph was declining. People thought Steph had fell off because he was shooting poorly from three. He broke the record and couldn't make a shot. He was shooting like 38% from three, which is crazy. That Steph's worst year is 38%. But he was shooting 38% from three. And then even in the playoffs, he wasn't going crazy. Like, he got hurt to close the season. Against Denver, he played well. Against Memphis and Dallas, he didn't have like the greatest shooting series of his life. And then Boston comes around and he has the best final series of his career, probably. Mm-hmm. And one of the best series of his career. All of a sudden, it's the best Steph ever was. No, the whole year, he wasn't the best he ever was. The whole playoffs, he wasn't the best he ever was. But he just had a great finals run and he got the finals MVP. So it's like, oh my God, Steph. But like, no, 15 was better in the regular season and the playoffs. 16 was better in the regular season for sure. And in the playoffs, the injuries, fine. He wasn't better because he got hurt. Cool. 17 was better in the regular season and the playoffs. 18 was better in the regular season. And he missed the first round of the playoffs, but he was still better overall in the playoffs, I'd say. 19, he was better in the regular season and the playoffs. 20, he was hurt. 21, he was just better.
But before I want you to stay there, Mars. Why am I not thinking, because he broke his hand 6 games into the season. He was averaging something like 27 a game before he broke his hand. Something crazy like that. So why am I not, why is it ridiculous to think that 1920 Steph would be just as awesome as 1819 Steph? Because he was still awesome. And on top of that, to your point, when you talked about 15 Steph, 16 Steph, just so you guys know, because Steph won the league MVP in 16, that year in 22, that was his second lowest finish in league MVP vote. I think he finished 10th that year, or I think he finished 10th or 8th. 8, 9, or 10. One of those 3 he finished that year. That was the worst version of Steph. Are you telling me that the worst version of Steph Curry, which was the 21-22 season, who at that point, after I believe it was after he broke the 3-point record, Mars, he barely shot over 40 on the long ball. He barely shot 40 from the floor, and he missed a month before the playoffs started. He came off the bench when the playoffs started. That Steph Curry is in the same conversation with 16 Steph Curry?
It's not even close, but he won, so you know, is what it is.
That championship is blinding a lot.
Yeah, he was worse, and like even like 21 Steph that season before where they missed the playoffs was undoubtedly better than what he was in 22. Like, I know they didn't go to the playoffs, and I know they lost in the play-in. But if you don't remember what Steph was doing in 2021, and you somehow think he was better the next year, I think you've lost your mind. I'm gonna be honest, I think you lost your mind.
Shout out everybody that lost their mind. In the meantime, somebody else that lost their mind but found it. My man Leaf Dickey. He said, ever notice how they have those charts? The what if LeBron had Steph shooting? What if Harden had Kawhi's defense? What if Steph had Giannis' athleticism? Ever notice why Kobe and MJ ain't on that list?
I mean, could you imagine MJ if he could shoot the 3 like Steph?
Yeah, that just makes things unfair when you add those two into conversations like that.
Tyrone Flawless Wiggins said, I know I'm new as a member, but I mean this respectfully. Neon glazes more than Krispy Kreme donuts.
How could you mean that respectfully?
Damn. I mean, if you glazing more than donuts, then that's what we do around here is glaze.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I hate that term. I hate when people get to talk about respectfully. Respectfully. Like, that's not respectful. Stop saying that. Just say what you mean. Respectfully.
But you might mean it respectfully. You know what it is? It's people that just be scared. People just be scared, like, to speak their mind. They want to say something, but they don't want to start no beef. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say, well, respectfully, this and that. What you mean respectfully? Just say what you mean. Mean what you say. Why would you want to?
Respectfully, Ox. You know, you really ain't respectfully. That shirt makes you look fat. Respectfully.
All right, like what? Just say what you mean, because Mars, it used to be a time where men, we could just talk to each other. And if I got to say something, whether it's checking you on something that I didn't agree with or not, I could just come out and say it to you, and you're not going to be so sensitive and want to fight me. Like, if we, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't just talk to each other no more. Now it's just, oh, well, respectfully, I didn't like how you did that. Like, man, forget all that. Like, just say what you mean, bro. Like respectfully, whatever. Because when you say respectfully, now I feel like you're trying to disrespect me and get away with it.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what's coming after that.
You know,
here comes the disrespect. Respectful.
Yeah, like, just talk, please.
Right.
Upper Deck said Jokic beat an injured T-Wolves, Suns after the trade, playing Lakers, and an 8th seed in the finals. Giannis, Luka, and SGA are closer than you think. Stop glazing.
The Nuggets beat the Wolves, the Suns, the Lakers, and the Heat. It's not one player beats a team, and it's stupid that people keep saying this. It's like, it really annoys me. Jokic didn't beat the Timberwolves. The Nuggets beat the Timberwolves. Jokic didn't beat the Suns. The Nuggets beat the Suns. How you feel about those teams, cool, good for you, but Jokic doesn't beat these teams. The same reason Jokic didn't lose to the Timberwolves. The Nuggets lost to the Timberwolves. Whatever. If that's the reason why Giannis and SGA are close to him,
Are we going to act like Jamal Murray wasn't frying the Lakers? Like he wasn't frying them? Are we going to act like that wasn't going on in the Western Conference Championship in 2023? Are we going to act like that was not going? Because that 100% was going on. How much better was Bruce Brown in that series than he was in series past? He was much better.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Luka got Dallas to the finals. Like, no, Dallas got to the finals. It's not Luka got to the finals. Dallas got to the finals. A big reason why they got to the finals because their defense was great. And what we heard all postseason long, Luka don't play defense. So, and I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying it's more than one player. And I hate that we minimize these teams and what they do to just one player. You minimize the contributions of Derrick Jones and Kyrie and Derek Lively to just talk about one person. It's a team game. And they're all contributing. Different levels, but they're all contributing.
Yeah, but the problem with that, though, Mars, is that we have to single out one guy that's the best player on the team. And he's the guy who... Yeah, because he's the guy who takes the brunt of the blame, and he's the guy who gets all the praise.
He shouldn't.
So unfortunately, that's the way. And we've actually had this conversation before.
The way it works is stupid. It should change.
Yeah, because a guy who gets the brunt of the blame gets all the praise. If he says, "Yo, the reason why we lost is because Bruce Bowen or Bruce Brown didn't handle the basketball as well as he should have." Well, if he comes out and says that, and it's true, you're being selfish. You're throwing your teammates under the bus.
Well, the players don't have to say it, but as fans, we should be able to recognize that it's not all on when, for example, when the Lakers lost to the Spurs in 2003 and Robert Horry couldn't make a three that whole series to save his life. Yeah. Am I meant to blame Shaq and Kobe for that? Like, no, I blame players for what they can control. If Shaq and Kobe played poorly, I'll talk about how they played poorly, why they played poorly. If a role player plays poorly, I'm gonna talk about that. It's not, oh, Jokic lost to the Wolves because he's not good enough. Okay, well, what about what Jamal Murray didn't do? What about what MPJ didn't do? And then when they win, it's not, oh, the Nuggets won because of Jokic. No, what about what Jamal Murray did? What about what MPJ did? It's a team game. It's not going to be one person's contributions being the only reason why a team fails or succeeds. And if you believe that, just go watch tennis. I don't know, because basketball.
But with that being said, Mars, there are guys who their contribution or their lack of contribution can kill us. James is a prime example of that in 2011. He's the reason why they lost.
There's other reasons, but
there's other reasons, but he's at the top of the list on why we lost that series. Yes. So you can definitely blame him for that. Just like you can blame a guy when I hear people saying, "Well, we didn't lose this off one play." Yes, you did. We didn't lose this game off one play. If Isaiah Thomas does not turn the ball over and get a ball to Larry Bird, who gave it to Dennis Johnson, they win that game. Game's over.
Yes.
And they probably win the series. So, yes, you can have that. Just like you can have a guy who can determine the outcome of a series off the strength of what he does, both good and bad.
Yeah, it's possible, but it's not true for every series. That's what I'm saying. Watch the games and then make your own opinions. It's not just, oh, every series is on the superstar. No, it's look at how it unfolds and see what happens. That's what I'm really saying.
Yeah.
Cultured Bandit said, chill is Jordan going against DJ Augustine, Druggy Lamar Odom, and season 47, Udonis Haslem. Dub Ron, dub rigging.
So Lamar, just because he was on drugs, could have hoop? Is that what we saying?
That's just sound like what he's saying.
Hey, man, Lamar could hoop, man. I don't know what to tell you.
DSG Piccolo said, so Bron is more, as Ron would say, glazable, Mars. Also, Japan got robbed and free Palestine.
Yeah. Bron is one of the more glazable players of all time, for sure. And yeah, That wasn't a foul. Japan did get robbed. And yes, free Palestine. 3 facts in one super chat. Shout out to Pickle.
Mm-hmm.
Mavs Luka Kyrie said, ignore Zion's weight. You think he has a short prime if he never starts taking threes? ? Crazy in year 5. He only takes 0.3 per game and undersized as a power forward at 6'6".
And this goes back to one. When I hear ignore weight, that's the same thing I'm hearing when I hear take accolades off the table. But the debate that you got there, that makes me nuts, Ma. I can't handle it. So the debate that you guys had, right, when you guys were talking about impact, that goes back to the Charles Barkley logic. It's like no Charles Barkley, no Draymond Green, no Draymond Green, no Zion Williamson. Barkley made it so that at 6'5", 6'6", you could play the 4 spot. But we can't ignore Zion's weight. That's like saying, yo, take out the fact that Wemby is 7'4". We can't do that.
I think the point he's making is, if you think Zion's going to have a short prime because of his weight, that's fine. But he's saying, do you think there's basketball reasons why his prime may be shorter? On top of his weight. Like,
Right.
Okay, he's overweight. Injury problems, cool. But do you think there's also things he does on the court that will shorten his prime, such as he doesn't extend his game outside of the restricted area? Do you think that could affect his prime years being shorter?
Well, he could extend his game. One of the main reasons why he hasn't been able to extend his game because he's been beat up. You would think that he would have, but he's been hurt. And the fact that he said, I'm 99%, so I'm not 100%, so I don't feel like Zion, that's making me nuts. But basketball reasons, you know, if you're underweight, if you're overweight, you can't play. That's part of basketball. And Zion having a weight problem, that's part of why he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing as a basketball player. I could say the same thing about Wemby. You know, ignore the fact that Wemby is 7'4". Well, Mars, one of the main reasons why guys broke down, like Ralph Sampson, was because of his height, because his knees because his knees couldn't sustain that. So, that kind of stuff matters.
Even if he gets a jump shot, he's still gonna be a fatso. He's still, you know what I'm saying? He's still 300 pounds.
Ox,
you know what I mean? So you got to
Zion coming into next season in shape, man. You guys gonna see, man.
You know what I mean? He's still got to run and put all that weight on them knees and ankles. So it's like you can shoot, but you got to elevate on your jump shot too. You know what I'm saying? You got to run. The hardwood is unforgiving. You know what I mean?
Zion, put on some more weight. It seems like the bigger you get, the better you get. Chill. It's clear at this moment in time that Zion got a weight problem.
Yes, he does.
He can't wait to eat. And here's my thing too, is neither can I.
What up, PC Nation? Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this July with dietitian approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/playerschoice50 and use code playerschoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code playerschoice50 at factormeals.com/playerschoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
Yo, chill. I need you to name that movie, chill. I need you to name that movie. Bring some of that Dick Gregory. I got a weight problem. Ain't wait to eat.
Oh, that's do the right thing.
No. That's
No. That's House Party.
That's House Party. Yeah, House Party. Yeah.
The great Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I do want to say in light of Zion, I really don't want to talk about Zion this offseason, whether he's going to get away and all of this, or whether he's going to get in shape and all of that. I don't want to talk about Ben Simmons, whether he's going to come back. I'm just kind of sick of talking about these guys. I gotta see it, Mars. I'm not gonna hype Zion. I'm not gonna hype
all these
Ben.
what ifs. That's exciting. I want to see LaMelo back healthy in Charlotte. I want to see Ben Simmons. I want to see Zion. All those like everyone. There was so many like
I do want to see
guys.
LaMelo.
I want to see. You hear what George Niang said about Ben Simmons?
Yes.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What'd he say?
he basically what everyone said about Ben Simmons, really, but he's like the first like player who was on the team at the time when Ben Simmons was holding out in Philly. He was basically like, we ain't like what he was doing, like the way he was acting, like he was just too good for the organization. And we're like, he's in the facility, we're saying what's up to him, he's just like brushing us off and stuff. Like, just ain't like that. We didn't respect that. So now he says every time he plays against Ben Simmons, which is rare, he's trying to just not go at him because he's just putting up in the corner, but he's just trying to get under his skin, be loud. Maybe not. He doesn't have as much respect for Ben Simmons as he does his other peers in the league. So he's basically said the same thing the fans have been saying for 3 years now.
Lesage of Six Paths, it's quite the username. Said, chill. How is Evan Mobley better than Wemby?
I didn't say he was better than him. I did not say that he was better. I said that Evan Mobley and Wemby, I feel like they're going to be the class of the defensive player of the year conversation moving forward. I did not say he was better than Wemby. But I think Evan Mobley is elite as a defender, as a rim protector, as a perimeter defender, as a presence in the paint. His IQ as a defender. He doesn't rely solely on just basketball instinct right now. I do think that Wemby has some of the tools that make you great as a defender. He's got like an 8-foot wingspan. Like that's a spider. What the hell are we doing? He can move his feet. I don't think he moves his feet as well as Wemby does. I mean, I don't think he moves his feet as well as Evan Mobley does. I think Evan Mobley's a better rebounder. So, I mean, I feel like it's stuff like that right now that makes Evan Mobley elite as a defender. But I didn't say he was better. I didn't say Wemby was better than him. So that's not true.
Chill. Are you better than Magic Ewing?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Respects Magic.
Are you better than Hornets Jeremy Lin?
Like I told you, he is not invited to my house to eat ever again. Ever.
Damn, you see what you did, Brax?
Ever. Don't ever come knocking on my door again. Never.
Goat James said, we don't care what dorks say. Luka clears that dwarf. What?
Respect John Stockton, bro. He said that about John Stockton.
Oh, 6'1" a dwarf? Oh my god, what am I? Oh God.
Nah, Mars. I'm not gonna lie though, Mars. I'll be forgetting like that I don't live in the world isn't basketball. And so when people do say like 6'1" or 6'2" is tall, I'll be like where, you know? But
that's because you 6'9". That's why
it's crazy because I'm a midget and I be viewing it the same way. I don't be viewing people as tall unless they're like 6'9". Just because I'm everything I do is I just talk about basketball. I watch basketball. So like Steph Curry is tall, but I only view him in the confines of basketball. He's small and he's 6'3". And I'm small, so I'm living my life as if I'm just in the basketball world, knowing that in real life, 6'3" is a tall human being.
Yes.
Yeah, I was watching something. They're like, yeah, he was a tall guy. He was like 6 foot, 6'1". I was like, I thought you said he was tall. What are you talking about?
Mo sent a super chat and said Hargoat and Harden might be a top 5 duo next year.
Oh yeah, that's what he be saying in the comments every day. Yeah, I mean he right. If they healthy,
we still doing this. Are we still doing this with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard?
Have faith in the Clippers, chill. They moved. They're in Inglewood now. Have faith in the Clippers.
Kawhi gonna be healthy. James Harden, he gonna do what he do. Yeah, that's a tough duo in the league.
She's out of rehab again for the third time, and
he's gonna be healthy.
This is time that I ain't got to worry about her disappearing for 3 days, and I ain't got to go looking for her. Even though Ron done told me 5-6 times already that chill, leave her alone, stay away from her. I'm like, Ron, nah, man, this is the time. This is it, Ron. She's cleaned herself up. She's great, man. We're going to get her a job. We're going to put her with some people, and she's going to be fantastic. She's gonna get it together. Ron is looking at me like, chill. I done told you for the 6th time, leave her alone. And I still ain't listening.
For the streets.
She's for the streets. He keep telling me that. I ain't listening though.
So maybe it's worse that she's in Inglewood now.
That's make it even worse because now you got your own spot to go to. You ain't even sharing a spot with nobody. You now have your own spot to go to.
Got you.
Oh my God.
Mo also said, my biggest fear is not marrying Harden.
I don't think a marriage is on Harden's to-do list. Harden afraid of rings, man. I don't think he
That's
get
not
married.
the only thing he's afraid of.
Mo, if you're not a stripper, he ain't gonna marry you. So I'm saying you might want to take some pole dancing classes or something.
We might need to see you in the champagne room soon, man.
Oh, that's heat.
W plug.
Mars, next time click that link, bro. Shit.
I'm too young to talk to people in that industry, man. Too young. One day though.
All right, as y'all know, in exactly an hour, USA will play South Sudan, so we will be looking forward to that game. It was very close last time, within a point, actually. Went down to the wire. LeBron had to make a game-winning layup. So we'll see how competitive this game is. I can't wait to come in here tomorrow and talk about that. And we will be a step closer to seeing who moves on to the qualifying rounds in the Olympic, or to the quarterfinal rounds in the Olympics.
I think they smoked them today, Ron. I do. I don't think they beat South Sudan. I think they smoked them. I don't think this game is close. I think it's way different. I think they come out with more energy. I think they come out with more aggression. I think they take the fight to South Sudan. I think they smoked them today. Yep.
All right. We shall see. In the meantime, we'll be back tomorrow. Until then.
Later.
Merry Christmas.
Later.